All right, sorry about that, everybody. A little bit of a technical difficulty there, but let's go ahead and get this one started. Today is August 12th, 2022, and what a great day it is for racing. Thanks for joining us here at 10-4 Broadcasting. Patrick Morrison here alongside me again with my trusted Australian, Kynan Jones, who's getting used to the Tennessee weather. Being this high-octane sim series, you'll see a lot of great racing, speed, and close calls, and last week was just that. Homestead, Miami was the track we were at, became another chapter in the book with battles all over the track. Riley Hoots had a fast machine but hit the wall entering pits, ruining his chances for placing well. Nick Alford placed third after spinning out on pit. Bledsoe came in a strong second, and the winner of that race was Brendan Mathia. So we are looking at, tonight, we're in wonderful Lebanon, Tennessee to see Nashville 195. Just short of a half mile, Nashville, being in and out of the NASCAR circuit, has finally returned for good, bringing its beautiful concrete surfaces to life and long sweeping turns to the drivers and the fans. We're going to go ahead and get right to the top 10 here as we get going around. Julio Villalobos goes ahead and takes the pole here tonight. Matthew Batby second, Nick Alford third, Alan Bledsoe fourth. Hatlin in the 18 machine, good pastor, good to see him up in the front pack this time. In the 33 machine, sixth. Riley Hoots 7th, Jeremy Richmond 8th, Brandon Fetter placed 9th, and Isaac Emerson in the 10th position. I believe we have Messer. Is that him in that 54 machine? Yes, it is. Looks like Messer is in the 54, Redenius in the 99. There in the 12th, Brosecker. I believe that's Cunningham. Don Francisco there in the 25 machine, starting 15th. We got Wilson, Mattern, Bojanic in the 18th. Should be Robert Ballard Jr. there in the 19th. Kelly Thomas in the 51 machine. Brandon 6 in the 23. Jacob Fifield. Obviously, I don't think he made it through our qualifying here, kind of. A quick shout out to our sponsors, Jack Smokehouse, W Energy Drinks, and Admin Box. So we're getting ready to get under green. Here we go. So off they go here, kind of. Really, Julio Villalobos getting ready to get started, but we are under caution already. Something may have happened there in the backfield. Man, really kind of a bummer here. The 98 of you're saying that is of Jeremy Richmond, huh? Boy, and that is going to bring up our first caution replay here of tonight. Really unfortunate. And I was just going to say a little something about Mr. Isaac Emerson in that 92, but we'll kind of see how that kind of unfolded here. I wonder if Jeremy Richmond just got a little loose trying to get going here. Let's go ahead and get that caution replay going here. 98 machine. Should be right there in front of that blue, white, and blue Valvoline car. Oop, yep. Yeah, probably just started in the wrong gear. Boy. Took out another one of his JKR Motorsports teammates there. Kind of a bummer for him. And I believe if we actually slide up to Emerson there, we see him get loose, and he's sliding all over the place too. Boy, that's kind of a bummer. Yeah, kind of a bummer there for that vehicle. I think also starting to hear that a little earlier as well, getting that thing underway. Thank you out there, Rose. I see you. Eyeballs on you. So, yeah, kind of saying those track temperatures are playing up on him here tonight. I believe on our ticker up here, kind of 123. So that is going to be a roasting temperature out there on the track, especially for this concrete surface here. A couple of stages. We'll be stopping at 58, 120, and then all the way down to 195. 7 sets of tires. Unfortunately for these drivers, there will be one fast repair. So that is a good thing to be. Jacob Fifield in the 45 will be out here tonight. Missed last week's race, but won at Watkins Glen. So hopefully Jacob Fifield in the 45 will be able to get that squared away. And Isaac Emerson, we unfortunately saw him get turned around in that 92, returning from a few weeks off. I know I had a little battle with him, and He said he was out there on that Harley, but glad to see that 92 machine, that Chevrolet, back on the track here tonight at Nashville. But man, Kynan, I'm really excited to see what the High Octane Sim Series has for us here tonight. But we're going to have our hands full, no doubt, with Villalobos. He's kind of getting the back end of the stick on some of these races, but he is out front. So I hope some of his viewers out there in the chat are able to see that 78 car really make a good place here tonight.
Yeah, we've seen Villalobos be very competitive in the past, so we should be able to see him up front for most of this race, but it is 195 laps. Stage cautions on lap 58 and 120, so if you can just keep out front. We saw Jeremy Richmond in the mid-pack get loose and cause a bit of a pile-up. Luckily, it wasn't as bad as what it could have been, so if you're up in front, you're going to be having to fight a lot more of a competitive field. Qualifying second and third were only separated by 0.001 of a second, so very tight, but it's also going to be safer. But wrecks can happen really anywhere, so you've always got to stay on your toes.
Yeah, Alan Bledsoe placed second last week, so he's used to being up here in the front, as well as Matthew Batby. Very fast 89 machine there. He's hoping Riley Hoots in the 7th position will be able to catch up. Nice to see Shane Hoots has gone ahead and joined us here tonight. We missed you last week, bud. I'm glad you're able to tune in with us here tonight. But man, I believe we're getting ready. There we go. Pace truck lights are off. We are 1 to green. This is gonna be a good run here tonight. If you've joined us here at the 10-4 broadcasting over at Racing Revolution on Wednesdays, we are at the Nashville Fairgrounds, and that was a much smaller track, very hard to handle in the Xfinity cars. But we are at the Nashville Super Speedway, much larger track, and a lot more forgiving, if I do say so. With the concrete surface having a lot more of that grip and being able to get around the track, having a lot more room than trying to squeeze on just a half mile with 35 cars. So this is going to be a heck of a shootout for some of these drivers. Riley Hoots, man, back there in the 7th position, but I do not expect to see that 24 car back there for long. Yeah, a lot of fast drivers up here, and I just don't know. As big as this track is, a super speedway, is there enough room for everybody to get going around? Jack Wilkinson, yes, there was a caution already. Unfortunately, a little spin out. If I were to guess, it was probably Jeremy Richmond may have started accidentally in first gear and kind of sidestepped that clutch a little soon. But I assure you, I guarantee you that will not happen again, as I believe we're about to see Villalobos take this one to green there, kind of.
Villalobos on the low line deciding that it's going to be best, but Nashville is known for music, so let's go make some music with some V8 engine power.
I like the way you think, but really is, out here in Lebanon, man, there's not only country that you hear here. I love how you think about those V8 engines roaring down as we get these guys getting away. Julio Villalobos getting a good move there, kind of jamming Matthew Batby that back there with Alan Bledsoe there in the 42 machine. So one of those JKR Motorsports, we see Nick Alford trying to take this thing 3 wide already. Boy, man, really kind of a gutsy move. Those guys have been practicing all week, and they just seem to have it kind of wrapped up. Nick Alford, up in the top 5 almost every week, unless he just ends up in a bad spot and getting totaled out. Really at 95, doing a fantastic job hanging out there in the 5th position.
Nick Alford is probably wanting to prove a point after having the self-spin on pit exit, after really being the dominant force at Homestead last week, so probably wants to make a statement and win tonight, so probably going to be going a lot more aggressive than maybe he normally would, but right now keeping it all clean. But on that couple opening laps, the 18 of Hatlin was probably seeing and maybe was thinking about making a move, but the top 4 then going single file, and 18 can't really do much more than just ride for now.
Yeah, we're going to kind of keep a little eye here on Matthew Wilson. Got a little loose coming out of that one turn there and has lost a bunch of positions right there, back down to 13th right now. So, boy, he was able to keep that car contained and up in, all in good pieces. But, man, just got to wait for those tires to settle in. With a hot track temperature like this kind, and, really, what are we looking for these tires? Are we looking at fall off super early, or we having to wait for them to heat up? And how is it for traction wise out there?
With these sorts of temperatures, you're going to be able to heat the tires up quicker, but with doing that, you're going to also accidentally burn them up quicker at the same time. With how the tires have to get up to temperature, it means they're sticking quicker, but as they have more time to stick to the surface of the racetrack, they're also pulling away rubber quicker. So that's going to be something you have to be thinking about, taking it easy on the wheel, trying to minimize as much load through those tires to then keep as much of the rubber on the tire as you can.
As we're taking a quick little look here, looks like Matthew Batby making the battle for the lead. Villalobos in trouble out there on that outside line. Can he hold him off? I don't know if that outside line is the preferred line here so far tonight until that rubber starts laying down. But he obviously has the speed. Good little door move there. Let him know and keep him honest toward the bottom of that track. Do not want to lose really any sort of time to Matthew Batby. If you give him a second, he'll take 10 more after that. So really getting going. Riley Hoots, shout out to him. Back, he's up to the 6th position with Brandon Fetterplace in the 7th. And I believe that is Brian Messer in the 8th. So, man, a lot of guys moving around here in the top 10 so far.
Yeah, after that first little mishap on the first beginning stage of the race where Richmond got loose on the restart or race start, they've just settled it down a little bit and for the most part are going relatively single file. There's a couple drivers going too wide, but for the most part there's also quite a separation between the main lead gap, which is mainly single file, but then about 20 car lengths back there's a second little group. So even though things are calmed down right now, we're not going to stay calm forever.
No, definitely not calm is where Brandon Fetterplace is, man. He's really getting kind of wedged in there. Riley Hoots and Jeffrey Goodpaster are in the front and rear of that 20 machine. So he's having to kind of seesawing in between those two vehicles, so he's got to be careful of how he places. Goodpaster looks like he gets a little lick of that wall right there, and he's going to have to kind of reset and line back up for this following turn. But Jeffrey Goodpaster in that 33 Superflow car, he's pretty fast out here. You know, we've seen him be able to actually pull a rabbit out of his hat, get a bunch of top 10s here so far. He's just got to keep that car clean. And it seems to be kind of the same song and dance here, kind of. You know, you got a lot of fast cars, a lot of guys working their way up to the front, but if they could just stay out of trouble and keep their car in one piece, they should have it all, you know, should have a good finish.
Yeah, that's 100% true. It's one thing to be the fast and dominant car. Last season, Matthew Batby was the champion, but has gone this entire season without getting a single win. Even though he's led many laps and been in contention to win, there's just been little mistakes. At Rockingham, had gotten into better place, and then that ended up sending him to the back and put a massive compromise on his run, but was able to salvage a 3rd place. Then at Watkins Glen was the dominant car, but just had a little mishap in the bus stop, and then that cost his race entirely, ended up DNFing. So Matthew Batby is also going to be a driver to watch. He's been fast really the entire season and last season's champion, but has gone this entire season without a win, so he's going to be very hungry for a win today.
Yeah, somebody else who's really fast. I know we talked about him a bunch in that road course. Jacob Fifield, he started last place. He's already up 10 positions already into the 12th position and on the move. He is really, really fast right now, getting that Chevrolet up there in the front. So, you know, I don't expect to see him hanging back for long, but he's got, you know, he's 5 seconds off that pace, and I just don't know if hanging in the back was a good idea. But I believe, if I'm not mistaken, Messer is the fastest car on the track. He already laid down a 30.53 here at the track here tonight, and really that is scooting the boot around, you know, here at Nashville.
Yeah, whenever you're able to put in the fastest time, it's going to give you confidence, but it's all good to put in the fastest time now, but you need to put it in when it matters. You can be the fastest car early on, but it doesn't matter because you may get some stage points if you can put yourself in the right position early on. But what really matters is where you finish in the end. That's where the points are really allocated.
Yeah, just a quick little look there. I know we kind of have the ticker here off to the side. Brandon Messer, his fastest time was a 30.5. Right now he's running a 31.6. So we're already, you know, 18 laps into this race here. Figure about 15 of them under green. You know, and you're already seeing almost a second fall off from these tires. So I would be very concerned at this point how long these cars can and cannot hold on. Matthew Batby, Villalobos, and Nick Alford in the top 3. Alan Bledsoe and Riley Hoots trying their best to chase them down, but still have a lot of work to do but we, kind of, it's really not that much to sweat at this point. We got 195 laps to, get hammered out here, and it's just, you have the time, but man, those laps just start ticking off one after another, and it's just you have such a hard time really making up that ground here, as it looks like Matthew Batby doing a great job up front there, but he's got about 3/10 lead off the front of Julio Villalobos.
You can say it's not much to sweat it now, but with these temperatures, I'd be sweating all the time. But Batby seems to be driving very calm, no real fears going on. Car seems to be nice and balanced, not really pushing it too hard, no sliding. He's just able to manage the gap, and that's going to be doing the tires wonders. Just being able to keep him cool whilst also in the clean air, which is going to give a little bit of relief to him compared to Villalobos, who's going to be in that hot, turbulent air of the 89.
Yeah, and I don't know if anything happened there to Michael Cunningham. Looks like a little trouble from his machine right there in the 22nd position. He is now 5 laps down, so he's got a lot of room to make up here. He's going to need a bunch of cautions. We've seen that out of the High Octane Sim Series. Not often, but it does happen. Michael Cunningham will have to make up that. Isaac Emerson is a lap down as well. Really, he's going to, after that first spin out at the beginning, so I'm sure he is feeling that, but striking him down really is Bledsoe up here in the front, still hanging around that top 5, trying to see if he can make a move on Nick Alford here. So I don't know if they're going to try to get Villalobos to march back or whatnot, but man, Kynan, start striking down out there as our YouTube moderator, man, because I know you can do it.
Already done.
You the man. All right, man, as we got, look at Nick Alford out there going ahead and watching this. Oh, boy, as Riley Hoots goes ahead and sends that 3 wide for just a little while. Villalobos doing the smart thing, kind of dial back, tuck in behind Fetter Place, and try a reapproach here at that, starting in 6th position. But look at that, Riley Hoots. A lot of speed right there. Right now has the 3rd position, but not for long. Alan Bledsoe still holding him to it. But check that out. We saw Villalobos battle with Batby on the outside and was unfortunately unable to do it. But Riley Hoots able to hold the outside, and he was able to conquer that turn and get the best of Bledsoe there. And Bledsoe is now falling behind Fetter Place. So, really, what is the preferred line here, kind of?
Right now, it's really hard to say. You want to be in a clean line where there's no turbulent air, but when you do that, you might be putting yourself off all of the 20. Looks to have gone in the wall ever so slightly. Able to keep it going, though. Luckily, no harm, no foul. Able to recuperate. Probably going to lose a place to Villalobos, is going to look to the inside. The inside looks to be... got to be careful when drifting up. Luckily, there was no netcode to really assist the 20 of going around, and they were able to keep it green.
Boy, and we can definitely see that tire fall off is taking its toll on some of these drivers, trying to pick up some positions. Brandon Fetterplace up 4 places from where he is, so that number 20 Toyota doing a great job getting his way up front, but really still a hard-fought battle. But hard-fought battle, as we are looking back here, Riley Hoots has gone ahead, up 5 positions from where he started, and is now in the second trying to put some distance on Nick Alford. So that 95 machine has got to start using that draft, change his race line, and, keep up with them here at this point. Let's see Wes Kahn stay more on the inside. Bledsoe, and we saw he did just that a little bit ago, trying to get the best of Villalobos, working on the inside of him and Fetter Place there. So 42 machine, Alan Bledsoe hanging around like a sloth in the 4th position there, kind of. But, man, this is starting to be interesting for this track here at Nashville. Matthew Batby leading by almost a second off his teammate Riley Hoots. A lot of work to do by a lot of these drivers.
Yeah, Riley Hoots looks to have taken care of his tires earlier on and has been able to then be able to take that advantage that he's now gained. Is going to start chasing after his teammate and the race leader of the 89 of Matthew Batby. Batby was 0.05 slower that last time, so Hoots does have the better tires, but how easy will Batby make it? Oh, we have a yellow, it sounds like.
Yes, we do. We have a caution out here, ladies and gentlemen, And we will do our best to see if we can find out who got tangled up in that one.
Car 18.
That's the 18 machine. Let's see how that car... Yeah, that car's looking a little slow right now. Let's see if we got any damage. Yes, we do. Fortunately, no engine smoking. But boy, that right front fender is getting ready to come off. Let's go ahead and get all working on that 10-4 replay here and see what transpired of that situation, because I believe he went kind of careening out of control and ended up somewhere in the infield. Let's take a look at the number 18 machine closest to the wall and kind of see, ooh, clip that wall there, and let's see how we get going here, kind of toward the inside.
99
Ooh.
just comes up thinking that the 18 was going to be continuing up near the wall, but just real unfortunate for the 18. Didn't have really anything to do with it, and 99 looks to have just not been expecting the 18 just to be there, and unfortunately the 18 got the short end of the stick.
Yeah, we're going to double check one more time. Let's take a look at that chopper view. Kind of see that race line. Kind of inside. Whoop. Yep, definitely at 99. Did look like he kind of rode up there just a little bit there. And hopefully that will not end the night of that 18 of Hatland there. Boy, man, that's a hard hit. Hard hit on that one. Boy, and we'll see. I'm assuming he will come down pit, and this may be a pit stop for everyone at this point. I think it may be kind of a joke not to pit, and get these cars back underway. Let's stay up in that chopper view. There we go. 18 look like going ahead and cashing in on that fast repair. Very early to use it, but right now you do not want to end up falling way, way behind, as it looks like Hatland's a lap down, Isaac Emerson's a lap down, and really interesting. I would have figured Isaac Emerson would have gotten the wave around to that caution, being the lucky dog.
Right now, don't see anyone who has been manually waved around. Though things look to be all calmed down. The 99 deciding to stay in the pits extra long just to get all that damage straightened back out, so definitely gonna make him be a little bit more anxious when coming up the track when going for the tribal, but still a long race, only 30 laps into 195 laps, so still a long way to go.
Yeah, man, it's just definitely difficult here for some of these drivers. I hope Isaac Emerson is able to get back on that lead lap, but I don't know, man. It's just hard to see. Kind of weird not being able to see Isaac Emerson get back on the lead lap, but we will keep an eye out for that right now. I believe that 9 machine will end up getting waved around, though, of Cunningham. See, that vehicle went ahead and stayed out there. We saw Cunningham pit earlier. Maybe got tied up there a little bit. Is 5 laps down, so that 9 car will most likely get the wave around here. And we'll get back underway. Oh, man. But we are going to go ahead and give a shout-out to Captain Jack's Smokehouse out there. Great sponsor of the Haas League here tonight. And every race, they believe... Boy, look at that food. Yummy. W Energy Drinks, so go ahead and give them a quick little shout-out. That way you get that jitterless blend. Everyone likes the red one from what I hear out there. And, of course, Admin Box. Don't forget to check them out. 10-4-box with 2 X's. Check that out. I just gave you a coupon code. Go ahead and grab you one of those, especially if you're an admin or a league leader, man. They get even cheaper, almost as cheap as that, to be honest, as we get you one of those. So go ahead and check that out and be able to get get one of those out there for you. But, man, here we go. Nick Alford up in the lead. So, seem a quick pit stop for him. Got him up there with Matthew Batby. Batby now starting in second here. So, this is going to be a shootout. I don't know if Nick Alford can really hang at this point with Batby. Batby very fast here tonight, and we'll have to see how that goes.
Yeah, Batby having the pace, and even though he wasn't able to quite get it done in qualifying, he did place second though. But Nick Alford and Batby in qualifying, I know I said it earlier, were only separated by 0.001 of a second, so these two are very competitive with each other. They both have a lot of pace, but who has the longer run pace? that we still haven't quite been able to find out. So hopefully we can see this time, but on lap 58, we don't get another caution. That will be the stage caution, so we're not going to be able to see fully, but we'll see who gets to win this little fight this time, as we are going back to green flag in the High Octane Sim Series.
Man, look at that. And Matthew Batby going ahead and getting that quick shootout there in the front. I believe our ticker may have been a little bit off there. I thought Nick Alford had the lead, so he got to start the restart, but I was incorrect. Villalobos, wow. Kind of take a quick look at him there. He's getting a little bit loose there, kind of back there in that pack, hitting Bledsoe. As we're just getting to the little bit of there, Villalobos trying to figure out how to file back in, but these tires, you know, that's the thing, is they're not letting them really settle in here, and they're pouring on the coal. There we go. Villalobos is now sent around Wilson. Wilson comes back, hits him. Let's see where that 48 ends up. 48 now collects the 3. Isaac Emerson in it again. So that 92 is now smoked out. And I believe that is Jeffrey Goodpasture there in the 33, and that brings out another caution for tonight.
There's a whole lot of cars now torn up.
That is not going to be good for that run here tonight. For some of these drivers, that is really going to change the way we kind of some of these guys approach. We did, fortunately, we did see kind of that unfold live time, but we're going to go ahead and get you another angle of this shot here. Let's take a look. Villalobos, you see him get a little loose. Boy, a little jerk there by both of them, actually. And then it looks like 48. 78 kind of finished the 48 off there. And the key is, got to lock it down, but really nothing you can do. You see the tires not rotating and really slinging everybody up over. And, you know, here's Isaac Emerson heading through the field. Man.
From my perspective on that, it just looked like the 78 ever so slightly came up, but then the 48 entered a little bit higher, so the 78 thought that maybe he could drift down ever so slightly. But then on corner exit, you want to try come down a little bit more, but 48 came up ever so slightly a little bit more whilst the 48 came down. So I'd say it was just a racing deal, and they unfortunately found the same piece of tarmac or concrete and just end up causing a big wreck. I would say it was a racing incident.
Wow, yeah, that is kind of a bummer there for some of those drivers out there. We'll kind of take a quick little peek here, if we can. Give a little shout out here to Riley Hoots. We do keep an eye out there on the chat, you guys, and I do keep eyeballs out for you guys, but we'll give a little shout out here for Riley Hoots running up here in the 3rd position. Shane Hoots, I see what you're saying there, bud. Got Dad's name on his car, so I believe from what he's saying, his grandpa passed away, lost him about a year ago today. So our hearts go out to you, bud, and you know, I feel your pain. And I hope you're able to put it in the winner's circle here tonight. But, yeah, hopefully Riley Hoots is able to bring that 24 into winner's circle here tonight. But he's got Nick Alford and Matthew Batby here to fight and get up in the front. So, yeah, Riley Hoots in that 24 Dr. Pepper car. We'll see if he can get this thing done here, kind of. Definitely a hard, definitely an uphill climb for Riley Hoots. But, you know, so far, he's really been on the move. He's making good moves. He's making good decisions and working his way up there. Well, you know, we'll take a look at Fifield here. I mean, up 16 positions. He started from last place, and here he is, you know, sniffing around the backside of the fifth position that Brandon Fetterplace holds, and he wants it. You know, he wants it. But we saw this same thing from him in Watkins Glen, did we not? He was in last, and he won that race. I mean, by a commanding win. So. Man, really good to see out there, but we'll have to see how these drivers go. If I were to guess, and I don't want to put the commentator's curse, but I'm going to do it. I would probably say Riley Hoots takes this one with Matthew Batby in 2nd and Fifield 3rd. That's where I'm going to make that call. I know it's 36 laps in, but I would probably keep an idea, but I know. You know, I know Batby and Riley Hoots. They do save tires. I agree with you, Shane. You know, he saves his tires out there, And it's kind of weird. They almost sandbag them there, kind of. They hold that one extra set, and we saw how that worked out for them at the Rock. Is they had tires that were a lot fresher than the rest of them, and it paid off big time as those guys came, I believe, from 9th and 8th place and won the race in a matter of about 3 laps. So that was wild out there, but we'll have to see. Nick Alford out there in the second place here, kind of, and really, man, really, what is the mindset of some of these drivers out here with the hot track temperatures, these next gen cars? What do we need to expect in this upcoming restart?
Just being able to get through the gears cleanly, that's the first part. If you can get that, then you need to try and not get involved, try and not pinch or drift up in the turn, depending on if you're on the outside or the inside in the turn 1 and 2. Just try to survive first lap, and then once you're there, then you can really figure out where you are. But since you gave your top 3 picks for the night, my guess will be Nick Alford will finish first, followed by Riley Hoots, and then I agree with you, Fifield. But Batby takes the green flag again, back on the low line as Nick Alford gets a terrible start on the outside.
Boy, yeah, and that is definitely a tumble up there. Looks like Alan Bledsoe going ahead and working his way there toward the inside and actually going ahead and staying on the underside of Nick Alford there, kind of having a little trouble there by that 42 car. I'm not sure if Nick Alford kind of had a real bad start there and just kind of jammed up that outside line. Fifield trying to make the best of it right back there, battling with Fetterplace for the 5th position. So let's go ahead and take a look back there with Fetterplace, see if he can hold off Fifield in that 45. But driver we haven't seen before, Nicholas DeFrancisco. Look at him out there in that, in his 25 machine, working on the inside of Fifield there. He's really placing good time here at Nashville in that Gatorade Chevrolet. So a lot of fans of Chevrolets out here, I believe so far, if I'm not mistaken, including the top 10, the only Toyota up there is Fetterplace. So I know it doesn't count for some people, but sometimes I do look at that car make and see if it's something a little different. If, that car make or the frame seems to make a difference.
Oh, we got a wreck out of turn 1 and 2.
At the track, but as I say that, and we're saying wreck out of turn 1 and 2, I really hope Isaac Emerson didn't get a piece of that. I know his car's still pretty bent up here. All right, we'll get this kind of wrapped up here for you and see kind of who got tangled up in that one. I don't know if Hatlin or Goodpaster, but we'll take a peek and see with some of these vehicles up here what happened. Let's see. Yeah, we're going to wind this one a little farther back than we normally do. Get back on that Michelin chopper view there, what he had to see. And really, kind of, here we go. But look at this. Now, here we are of the I believe, the 23 here.
It's
23.
checked up, having to hit the brakes, which unsettled the car, which then stacked them up. The Brozeka tried checking up, but Villalobos not being able to then react to Brozeka checking up, and then they just start bumping each other, and it then sent the 23 around.
Yeah, really, kind of a bummer there. We see Cunningham, fortunately able, I believe, keep it off that wall as he kind of went spinning out of control. He thought he had it there, but I would probably point fingers at Villalobos on this one. Kind of aggressive shoving of Brosecker there. Really had kind of sent the rest of these guys around. You kind of got to check up just a little bit there. But here at Nashville, being a super speedway, it's only what you can do. Here we go. And right there, he starts making that contact. And that just, yeah. And Villalobos still pushing there, kind of.
I'd say Villalobos didn't really have enough time to be able to fully react, and especially in the mid-corner, it's about the time when you're starting to set yourself up for the acceleration out of the turn, so I'd say it's another racing deal. The 23 end up just coming down after getting loose, and then that stacked up the bottom lane. Brozak had tried checking up, but then with Villalobos carrying so much more speed, just end up bumping, and then as Brozak is slowing down or trying to, then the bumps just continue, and it just went around.
All right, we're going to take a little ride along here with Isaac Emerson here and kind of see how it went for him. I know he made it, I believe, unscathed, but he watched this one unfold right in front of him. Oh, boy. Yeah, good ducking down and getting out of the way of that one, as that could have gotten a lot worse for him. So, I know these cautions start breeding cautions at some point, but I would assume, you know, some of these should go ahead and get this done. I believe that makes Isaac Emerson now lucky dog out there right now, so he should be back on the lead lap. Boy, that works out great for that 92 machine. Just in a lot of trouble all race. And really, if you can just get this thing to stay out front and stay out of trouble, you know, he can maintain and get up there. And kind of a bummer for a track you finally returned back, and the league you returned back to racing. Here we are back under caution again at lap 43.
Yeah, it's real unfortunate, but we're seeing the 92 be very competitive in the past, so I'm sure he might just shake off today and come back even stronger and might be able to put in a good fight for hopefully a win next week.
All right, a couple of eyeballs out here on Jeremy Richmond, starting back where he placed for the qualifying. So Jeremy Richmond back up in 8th place after that quick spin out we saw at the beginning of the race. I'm sure hope he's looking to reset that one. I believe he will be lining back up on the outside there, on the outside of 5 field. So these guys going to have a lot of work to do. There's JKR Motorsports. Let's see, we got Redenius, we got Richmond, we got Alfred up there. So a lot of these JKR Motorsports cars, but that is nothing going against the Kenny Powers Motorsports. A lot of guys up there. We got Bledsoe up there, Batby, Riley Hoots. I mean, these guys are just stacking up in the top 10. So a lot of big teams, a lot of big drivers up there in the front. But really, I fully expect to see Riley Hoots, you know, kind of lurking there in the background. He's hanging in the back, and he may turn it up here in just a little while. We are 1 to green, lights off on that pace truck, and this has got to be pretty exciting for these Kenny Power Motorsports team up here in the front. I believe 1, 2, 3 is where these guys line up. Correction, 1, 2, 4 with Alan Bledsoe. So nice to see him, those vehicles up there. So when you already have 3 out of the top 5 in that team, I believe they are all going to work together. So watch Batby kind of let Riley Hoots know when this restart gets ready to happen here, kind of.
Yeah, when you have your teammates around you, it's going to give you a lot of confidence. And we see that with that restart. The 24 being able to get a good launch should be able to clear the 95 of Alfred fairly easily. Bledsoe not going to be able to capitalize as much. Or Third place gets in 42 and 42's all around, but saves it.
Almost.
No, he doesn't.
Hold. Oh. Man, he got spun around there. I was looking to see if anywhere in that blimp view, but boy, look at that. His car is not really that... Uh-oh.
Be careful with doing that.
Yeah, I was wondering if his, he got ready to get going there. I would just wonder if the tires melted on him there a little bit. Let's see kind of what happened with that 42 machine. You know, if somebody made contact, if he ended up getting just a little too anxious, kind of seeing him get re-going back under his own power. We kind of saw him slip away, so I'm just wondering if those tires are just a little too much right now. But let's go ahead, let's get this one underway. 42 on the outside. Ooh, boy, looks like a little contact there with Fetterplace. I'm actually gonna roll it back right here. Let's see if we can find a little bit better of a view of these two. There we go. Let's see, Fetterplace.
Looks like our good friend is back.
Clink.
Bit of neck code there, but Fetterplace was drifting up the track.
Yeah, just two
I
people.
thought he had it saved at this point, but then trying to apply the throttle and it just
man.
came down.
We'll have to see how much damage Fifield got there. But now's the hard part. Now's where you start seeing the collections after this. That's where these guys seem to sustain. But up here with Isaac Emerson, I believe we have another car around. I believe that is the 8. Looks like Bo Janet got turned around there as well. So his car probably has a lot of damage there. With the 32 still ramming that one there of Ballard Jr. So that in and out machine is bent up pretty bad, but we'll have to see. Yeah, kind of the same thing there. I'm just wondering if that track temp and the tire temp is now all of a sudden starting to take its toll out there. As Ballard Jr. there is kind of making a little, letting the landscaping guys have a lot more work to do than they need to. So, Robert Ballard Jr. going to go ahead and have to get back under his own power and get back in there. Let's see, Bo Janik there. Having a lot of trouble out of that machine. So, you know, really it's kind of trying to pick and choose where these cars need to be, how they're going to get out there. And really a good place, you know, to restart. Some of these guys, you know, it's just, I don't know. I don't know if the tires are giving them some problems here as we're getting, you know, I mean, we're only about 48 laps into this thing. I know our ticker shows a little bit off. We are taking a little look here at Goodpaster. Oh, no!
Oh. I was about to say he had some connection issues, which is why he was a little bit, or a couple laps down, but trying to get out, and that's not what he needed.
And the right front of that car is kind of broken off. And I don't know about you, but Jeffrey Goodpaster, they might be the end of his night. I cannot believe I caught that. I took a quick little peek at that 33 machine, and wow, I can't believe I caught that. And I sure hope he has a faster pair left, because that, you know, in our language, that's a definite meatball flag for him. He will be down pit road, and that is gonna hopefully not ruin his night. He's still 2 laps down. Has a lot more to get underway. Boy. What a wild turn of events. Yeah, see, just not being able to hit the brake there. I don't know if that's going to cost him any sort of place there. Let's see.
Yep. There it is. There's the fast repair done.
Boy, and couldn't wait for a better time for that one. So, Jeffrey Goodpaster, we're going to move off of you, bud, and kind of keep the limelight. I don't want to dupe you a second time. Let's move up here, up to the lead. Matthew Batby, Riley Hoots, Nick Alford, Brandon Fetterplace, Nicholas Don Francisco, Jeremy Richmond, Jacob Fifield, Zach Redinius, Brian Messer, and Kelly Thomas up there in the top 10. Kelly Thomas, we don't talk about that vehicle a lot. That 51 Chevrolet there, you know, that seems to be kind of slicing and dicing through the pack. You know, kind of, I don't know, kind of that silent racer. You know, kind of hanging out really in the front, in the back, kind of, but, you know, got tied up in a couple early races, you know, kind of getting banged off the wall and everything like that, but has actually been placing really well, believe top 10s a couple weeks in a row here, so I think that 51's kind of got a little extra saved up for us. If no wins for that 51, at least the consistency will score the points and get you in that running there, but man, that was a tough tumble there. Westcon, what was that? We'll just say there was oil on the track for that one. But all right, Shane Hoots, we're about to get Riley back underway here. Matthew Batby up in the lead, but, you know, looks like Riley Hoots is going to have to start. Oop, little connection issue from that 24 machine, but back on the track, here we go. Go ahead, Kynan. We are in that Geico restart zone, bud, and we are under green.
Another strong restart by Batby, and because of being teammates with Hoots, Hoots was able to get past and easily clear Nick Alford, but Alford gonna look to fight it back on the outside, not gonna be able to be aggressive enough and be able to help it stick, but is going to file into third, better place in fourth, followed by Jeremy Richmond after his little slip up on the initial race start, rolling up in the 5th place right now, followed by Don Francisco in the 6th place, who actually managed to gain a position on that restart.
Yeah, I don't know if you noticed that, but Jeremy Richmond had a huge run on that turn and kind of clipped the back end of Brandon Fetterplace there. Fetterplace able to hold on to that car, but that 98 machine, man, that thing had a I don't know, some would call it a grip hack, but he was flying around that track, and that thing just all of a sudden hooked and took off. He did get a Friday night win here in this series so far, so really good job by Jeremy Richmond getting up there. Riley Hoots following behind Matthew Batby there, so they're only about 2/10 off. Them being teammates, I would kind of assume those two are not going to really battle it out this early. I mean, we're only Boy, I don't even think we're a quarter of the way yet, and we got a lot more to go. A lot more
Speaking
battles
of
here.
drivers that have won, Christopher Darling in the 11 and Martin Plute in the 91 have not shown up tonight, so they're currently injured to having wins, but real unfortunate not to see them out here tonight.
Yeah, the Max Graphics team has kind of been on a hiatus there for a little bit. Martin Plute, Ben Mashburn, and Christopher Darling. Those are a lot of fast drivers out here. Just unfortunately unable to show up. I would like to see their presence here a lot more because they put a little different twist on the races here. Christopher Darling, super fast. Ben Mashburn, great pusher. But unfortunately, I believe pushed Riley Hoots out of the way at the Daytona race. So that ended up being a little bit of a mix-up there for him. And Martin Plute came away with a win already here so far. I believe, don't take me, I think it was New Hampshire. I think he won that one. That was the one that had a whole bunch of cautions, a Haas record for them there. I believe that one was the 32 caution one. If any of you were with us that night, I feel your pain. But here we are at Nashville right now, the Super Speedway. I've raced here before. I really enjoy it, especially because it's concrete. I seem to have really good luck at concrete tracks. Nashville, sister racetrack Dover, and another fine concrete one. I wish they would keep it that way and not the dirt, Bristol. So a lot of concrete tracks on the circuit. But really, this one is probably one of my favorites, seeing how fast that you can get going on here. But some of these drivers out here, seeming to kind of contend with these next gen style tires. It's just they're heating up a different way, they're coming apart, and the wear's a different way. But we're having some trouble here.
Just looking back at the 16th position right now, Alan Bledsoe was real aggressive into turn 1 on Isaac Emerson, but was able to make it stick, no contact, and it was a very nice overtake. Thought there was going to be some form of contact, but they didn't, and were able to keep it clean. Very nice overtake there.
All right, and Shannon Bledsoe out there kind of telling Alan he's got to calm down a little bit. Drive him mad, will fry those tires off, and we do know that for sure. He already spun out once here so far. Fortunately, not a whole lot of damage on that 42 machine, but he will be able to go ahead and march his way back up. I know he's used to racing up there in the front, but it's kind of, it does give you that sickening feeling, being all the way back here in the back and now having to fight your way for the front. Isaac Emerson doesn't, not a driver that's really here in the back. So some of these drivers that are used to racing up here in the front are now getting a taste of their own medicine riding here in the back as we're under caution again. I am unsure
Stage
what...
caution.
Who?
Stage caution.
Oh, man.
Lap 58, we're already at that point.
Hot dog. I wasn't sure with the amount of cautions we had in the front if they were going to go ahead and wipe their hands of this one. Really, Matthew Batby and Riley Hoots were starting to pull away, I believe, by almost 2 seconds there. Whatever those two guys had going on, those Kenny Power Motorsports vehicles really had those things going. Matthew Batby is starting to look like the one to beat here tonight in that 89 machine. Just, man, that, I don't know about you. That Chevrolet is just so fast. And it's just every week. Matthew Batby, when he shows, he is now sets the new bar, kind of what to beat. Matthew Batby is beatable, but you got to beat him at his own game. And it just seems to be, you would think Kynan, it would just be, maybe I got to beat him on tires. Maybe I just got to beat him on speed. Maybe I got to beat him on a turn. And really, Matthew Batby's kind of that all-rounder driver. And Riley Hoots is learning a lot from Matthew Batby. And the two of them are working so well together, with them being able to figure out what to do, where to go. And, in certain situations that how can these cars, get faster? How can I beat these two guys who are up here in the front as we see these, believe, here we go. Everybody coming down pit road here. So we're starting to sling into the pits. I believe Villalobos here in that 78 will be the farthest, so he'll be the closest to firing out of pit here. A lot of cars getting some tires here, man. Boy, they need it. These cars have been slipping and sliding around. Villalobos, quick pit stop. Out he goes.
My little analysis on Matthew Batby is see him kind of like IndyCar driver in real life, Colton Herta. He's got a lot of pace and a lot of talent, but just hasn't been able to really make the races that he's very dominant work out just because of either little mistakes that he's making by himself or just getting caught up in other mistakes. So he has the pace, but he's just needing to bring it all together and tune out a couple of those small little mistakes.
Yeah, we'll have to see how this goes out here. Like I said, those Kenny Power Motorsports cars, they do save tires out there. I believe you, Shane. We will definitely have to see Riley Hoots up in the second position. But a huge mover right now, Villalobos, with a quick pit stop there, back up in the front. So he is tired of tangling around back there with some of those cars on the back end. So a lot of these guys having to reevaluate how to get back up front. Let's see as we get going here. Quick little update as they pass the line. Bledsoe, looks like Bledsoe's worked his way up into the 11th position there. Fifield had a little blink there, but he's in the 7th. All right, so it looks like we got our new running here. Villalobos coming out of pit on first. Riley Hoots second. Nick Alford third. Matthew Batby lining up behind Riley Hoots in the 4th position. Jeremy Richmond hanging out in a calm, cool 5th position. Brandon Fetterplace 6th. Fifield 7th. Brian Messer 8th. Matthew Wilson 9th. And James Brosecker 10th. So, man, really, that top 10 is looking to put a lot of speed on this track and separate from that back half there. And we will have to see how this goes. I totally expect Bledsoe here, probably in the next 15 to 20 laps, kind of giving Fifield a run for his money up there in 7th realistically, just because of speed and maybe a little bit of traffic there. But, you know, Bledsoe was definitely going to have some trouble fighting his way back to the front after that spin out he had earlier in the race.
Yeah, Bledsoe, especially in this second half of the current season that we've done. At first half, he kept on getting involved in a lot of mistakes. Then when it came to Texas, was able to break through and get that podium. Then has really been able to carry that momentum. Yeah, he's had a couple of mistakes here and there, but then last week was able to get back into the podium and was very fast, nearly got the win. But once again, Bledsoe here tonight was running around 4th, 3rd in practice, so I expect to see him up near the front very soon towards the end of the race.
All right, with the assumption a lot of these drivers went ahead and got 4 tires, Isaac Emerson up into the 12th position. So hopefully he is able to stay out of a lot of trouble here and get that 92 machine up in the front. But really, man, Brian Messer, we'll have to see how he can hold out. He's been bumped and banged around a little bit here tonight in that 54 machine, if he can keep that one squared away. So Brandon Fetterplace, Brian Messer, really the only Toyotas hanging out in the top 13 at least. In the front, the rest are Chevrolets. This seems to be the race of the Chevys tonight. Matthew Batby, man, really, he's got, from 1st to 4th. So we'll have to see how he works out. But starting behind Riley Hoots, watch what's going to happen. Matthew Batby's going to give Riley Hoots a shove, and these two are going to start taking off once again.
Villalobos is going to have to be able to get as good of a restart as he possibly can. Actually bogs down, not being able to get nearly as good of a restart as he probably wanted. That's going to open the door up for Riley Hoots on the outside. Hoots is going to be able to dive it around the outside. Batby looking to follow. Villalobos drifting up slightly in the corner is able to keep it all together, but Batby and Hoots on those fresh tires is going to be able to charge around the outside. Better Place is going to also look to follow. Nick Alford getting held up, there's contact from multiple angles. Villalobos able to keep a hold of it.
Man, really, and they're starting to bump and bang. We saw a couple cars kind of in the outskirts of our view here in the backfield, kind of slipping and sliding around there. But just as I call it, Riley Hoots, Matthew Batby, 1 and 2. Fetterplace trying to fight to stay in 3rd here, but man, he's going to be able to keep it. Looks like Nick Alford there. As we got Emerson tied up again.
Caution.
Him and Brosecker are tangled up. Let's see if that car is mobile. Because I thought I saw somebody's tire come off.
It seems like everything may be all good.
All right. Looks like a solid 92 there is okay for him. Brosecker. Whoa, there it is. Massive damage to that number 3 car.
I'd say the thing that you saw flying off was the bumper.
Okay. Oh man, yeah, dude. Because I saw the two of them sliding and pieces started flying. All right, let's take a look at James Brosecker here and kind of see what happened. Because that was definitely a tie-up by these two cars here. So we see Isaac Emerson is actually catty-cornered to him, and let's kind of see how this unfolded here. Oh, wow.
Those actually just came down, probably not expecting the 92 to be down there, and they just door each other, and then they just kind of push each other through the grass. Maybe making the little agricultural people happy that they cut the lawn a little bit.
Oh, man. Yeah, that was a tie-up there, man. That was tough. Now, let's go ahead and see what got going here. I'm going to slow it down just a little bit. Boom.
That came down multiple car lengths, and just Emerson just trying to make a line work there, and they just collided. Real unfortunate for the 92 and the 3 to have come together, but luckily able to keep it out of other cars and out of the wall.
Yeah, I kind of like that that line Emerson was running there. Kind of go ahead and give the fade up the track the same way as that 48. But yeah, it looks like 3 was trying to tuck behind the 48, and then that was it. The two of them just met each other. Oof, man.
Real unfortunate for the 92. He was going to get a really good run onto the back straight away.
Yeah, but fortunately it doesn't look like too much damage for Isaac Emerson. Brosecker looked like he took the most of the damage out of that one. And we will let those two guys really battle it out over the race chat of, who can point fingers at who on that machine. So really that's going to be a tough one for that vehicle here. Let's go ahead and take a little look here. Look at that. That 3 car is in some trouble here.
I'm surprised that the front bumper actually flew off from that contact. We've seen the cars go head first into the wall and the bumper stay on, but apparently door slamming someone, and yet the bumper's like, yeah, I'll talk to you later.
Well, definitely taking a good bite out of that grass. We'll go ahead and send it on into the next galaxy. Snapping it off. Look at that. Fast repair. Bam. Back on. So here we go. So he's probably going to get a quick splash of fuel and get that thing kind of squared away there. Kind of sitting in pit a little longer than I expected there, kind of. Kind of keep an eye on him and kind of see how this one wraps up here.
Definitely in pits longer than expected. Oh, it wasn't actually a fast repair that he took.
So he's trying his best to hold out as long as he can. So right up there, we got that track map. You kind of see where the clutch of cars are and him in pit road. So he'll have to, watch out. Keep in mind, what's going on here. 9 machine of Cunningham back down pit road trying to square that one away.
Just a quick update on the 33 of Goodpass. He's just dropped out due to connection issues again. So real unfortunate, and is the only Ford out there tonight, or not so much out there anymore due to connection. Hopefully he reconnects and can get some extra laps in.
Man, here we are. So Jeffrey Goodpaster, hopefully we will see him next week for that race there. Let's go ahead and take a quick peek at that schedule. Looks like they are going to be, oh man, if you thought Nashville Super Speedway is going to be rough, go ahead. We are looking at Virginia's paperclip. We will be in Martinsville, so just a little sidestep from Tennessee into Virginia. We'll be at Martinsville Speedway there, and that is going to be a rough race. If you close your eyes, 325 laps will go, go quick, because that is going to be a battle of the war of attrition, I will say, as that is going to be tough, but really tough driving out here so far. Alan Bledsoe up in the 11th position, so he's working his way up there. He's trying to get, he's fighting, trying to get some pushing. But like I was saying earlier, he's got a lot of fast drivers in front of him, and these guys just gotta place themselves in the right position to get this one underway. But as I say, underway. Check this out. Here we go. Pace car off the track. We are entering the Geico restart zone. Villalobos was a little slow on the restart last time, but boy, Riley Hoots not slow on that restart. He takes off and leaving his driving buddy behind him, Matthew Batby in the 89 out there behind him. Shane Hoots, you're going to like that. Yeah, way Riley Hoots goes as Matthew Batby is now going to have to chase down his teammate.
Jeremy Richmond in the 5th position, almost got into the back of Alfred in 1 and 2, was able to carry enough momentum to be able to clear the 45-05 field, but Nick Alfred finding some real nice grip in 3 and 4, looks to be trying to fight for the place down into the tri-oval.
Yeah, it looks like actually Bledsoe having a little bit of trouble back here. We see him loosen up. Oh, getting a little contact with Zach in that 99 machine, so got to be careful. We got a little bit of a battle up front, but looks like Bledsoe's got his hands full of a couple drivers toward the inside. I know he's kind of an inside driver. There you go, little switch up there. And now he's going to be sharing the same place with Zach Redenius there in the 99. Boy, kind of hold on. Look at that quick little triangulation of that turn, trying to get a little extra speed. Wes Kahn out there, I see you, but Alan Bledsoe definitely has his work cut out for him. Maybe a little throttle control may be his friend on this track. But, right now, Matthew Batby right there up close to the lead. It looks like those two are going to battle for the lead now, so we may have a lead change once again. Brandon Fetterplace going to go ahead and side with Matthew Batby here on the inside line here, kind of.
Batby and Hoots not really looking to fight each other too hard. Batby maybe just deciding to let the battle really happen, and Hoots maybe wanting to keep with the teamwork and just fall in behind Batby, and instead just wanting to run behind and maybe hold up Fetterplace and also save some tires. So Batby is going to be able to clear a gap, but is he going to be burning up his tires doing it? Or will there be a bit of teamwork just so then they can keep a hold of the 1-2 position?
Yeah, that's okay. I believe they are teammates until the final 5 laps, and then I think they're going to start trading paint after that. But right now, trading paint, Nick Alford back here trading some paint with Fetterplace, rubbing the back of that bumper. Fetterplace may got a little bit of a slow exit on that turn, and the 95 let him know it. So he gave a quick little bump, and now look at Fetterplace picking up a boatload of speed right there, diving into that turn, having to kind of swing a little wide there to kind of slow that car down. But boy, that's just going to start taking its toll on the tires, and that is not something you want to do. So Brandon Fetterplace is going to have to kind of reevaluate his line. That way he can last this run here. Because I'm sure, I don't know if fuel will last until the next stage caution. I believe that caution is at 120. So 120 laps need to be in the books before we're under caution here. Oh, man, get out there in that chat, kind, and start hacking those things
Already
down.
on it.
God, I'm sick of them. Figure out how to wipe them off. You are the janitor of the YouTube screen. I am sick of it. Get him out of here. All right, let's see if we can find somebody else out here. Don Francisco, where is that guy in the 25? I know he was giving Bledsoe some trouble and has now gone ahead and filed behind Zach Redenius in the 99, having a little trouble. He's fallen back to the 11th position. Isaac Emerson 13th, and Brosecker there in the 15th position. That 3 car did have to kind of square that car away and get back out there, but just kind of, these cars are just kind of taking it easy, and really it's nice to see some of these guys getting going here. But as I say that, kind of look at that, Riley Hoots resumes the lead, and then Matthew Batby takes it away again, but now Riley Hoots having a battle along here alongside Brandon Fetterplace out there on the outside line. Go ahead.
I expected a little bit more teamwork going on. Maybe they've decided they don't want to be teammates anymore. But Fetterplace is going to benefit from this little battle going on. Diving it to the outside, not being able to make it stick, as well as Hoots, who dives it back on the inside. Then able to have the ideal racing line. Nick Alford just behind him, wanting to think about making an overtake, but just nowhere to really be able to go with it. Instead, deciding to ride in behind, going back to the low line. Fetterplace is going to maybe try to switch underneath. No, he's going to stay to the outside, going for the tri-oval.
Man, really kind of a tough shot there. If our producer had opened his eyes, he'd get on the right side of that vehicle, not the left. But on the right side is Brandon Fetterplace holding that outside line, giving that push. But he seems to have that enough speed there toward the outside. So Riley Hoots getting a taste of his own medicine of a faster car on the outside there. But Riley Hoots, really you got to kind of watch this kind of do we save tires? And it's hard because if you gun it to get out in front of him, you start wasting the tires, but continuing to battle does just as much damage. So Riley Hoots actually going ahead and giving him that quick shove right there and has moved himself back into the second position. But unfortunately, that has allowed Matthew Batby to go ahead and get over half a second lead on him there. And now Riley Hoots is going to have to run down his teammate.
It seems like Better Place has just backed off a little bit after that little battle. Maybe the tires overheating a bit too much for his liking. Instead, just deciding to settle back in and try again later on when it actually matters a bit more.
It looks like some of these guys are starting to slow down just a little bit here. Those last laps about 31-1. So we're starting to definitely feel the tire falling off here. Brandon Fetterplace with the fastest lap on the track of a 30.39. So 30 seconds, just a little over 30 seconds per lap here. Running. If you think about it, these guys are doing 1.3 miles in 30 seconds and making turns while doing it. I mean, that is fast. That is really scooting the boot out here.
The amount of grip that these next gens have is quite insane, but with you doing that and ripping around this relatively flat track, all things considered, especially compared to the high banks of Daytona and Talladega, you've got to be careful with how much you're burning up the tires, especially in these hot temperatures. We've talked about the temperatures early in the broadcast, but if you're only just now tuning in, where have you been? It's been a great race, and we've seen some chaos, we've seen some good racing, so don't tune away just yet. But hot temperatures, you got to be careful with the tire wear, so that's one thing we could see Better Place maybe just saying to let the two penny-powered motorsport of Hoots and Batby run away, burn up the tires, but then come back towards the end of the stage.
Yeah, quick little look up there, 83. We are on lap 83. 82 in the books as we get underway. Look at Fetter Place here. You are starting to see that tire fall off. Riley Hoots has made up that time. He's already sawed off half that time of a 6/10, now down to 3/10 to Matthew Batby. But Fetter Place and Alfred are going to have to work together to get their way up front. But you are seeing 2 by 2 here. Matthew Batby and Hoots. We got Brandon Fetterplace and Nick Alford. And then we also see back here with Jeremy Richmond and Fifield here. These two guys kind of clumping up together, trying to see if they could get something worked out. But, just as I say that, those two guys start separating. So, you're kind of starting to see who you can and can't work with at this point. And they've got to figure out who's working together, as it looks like Alford is starting to put the moves on Fetterplace there and see if he can get around up into that third podium position. But, man, still a long way to go. We're almost halfway, but not quite.
Better Place in turn 1 and 2 just caught the apron, which then killed a lot of his momentum. He's got to be careful on that outside. Alfred nearly getting into the side of him, but Better Place nearly getting into the wall. Jeremy Richmond is going to benefit from this, gaining a free position and going up the inside of Better Place. Fifield in the 45, now behind the 20, is going to be looking to make an overtake next, getting tight. Oh, they got to be careful, especially with Nick Alford getting loose on exit and having to regain his composure, but luckily they're able to all keep it all together. Fifield is going to be looking to make a pass. Better Place. Nick Alford going way up the racetrack. You don't want to be up there, bud.
Boy, man, yeah, 2 Jake Arrow Motorsports vehicles right there. Having to kind of battle it out there. And really, here we go. Nick Alford actually having a dive back in behind Fetter Place again. Jeremy Richmond seeming to having to get a good line there, but will it be short-lived? Jeremy Richmond, over 2.5 seconds off pace. So these guys have a lot of work to do. Brandon Fetter Place here fighting with Nick Alford. Those two guys, but Fifield, working his way in the back. And just as I said, look at that. Alan Bledsoe, the fan favorite out there. Here he is up in the 7th position behind Fifield. And really, it seems to be working out for him so far, keeping up in the front. Riley Hoots only 2/10 off the lead. We'll float up to him here in just a little bit. But we're taking a look here at Alan Bledsoe. After the spin out, ended up in the back, started driving real aggressive. I believe that was Shannon out there in the chat telling him to kind of cool down, maintain, and look how it's working out for him. Still 4 seconds off that lead, but we do have that stage caution at 120. If not, another caution, as long, if somebody gets tangled up here. But really, here we go as we get going. But we're gonna float up there. I think Riley Hoots is starting to try one more time there on Matthew Batby. Only a tenth off for the lead of these two Kenny Powersport Motorsports cars.
Yeah, Hoot's having a lot of grip right now, but he's got to make sure that he doesn't cause any little mishaps. But these two drivers know how to drive. We've seen that all season, so even though Hoots is a little bit quicker, maybe they might decide to pull some teamwork and decide, we got the gap, let's just ride and take the stage points.
Yeah, we got a couple of drivers not here tonight. Michael Boyd, William Britton, Edward Marshall, Jordan Journo of 84, and Christopher Miller of the 12. So a couple of drivers missing here tonight, along with the entire Max Graphics Racing team. So hopefully those guys are able to kind of get things worked out and back there. But boy, look at that. As we see up there in our ticker, Alan Bledsoe still making moves there in the back. Looks like he's fighting along there with that 95 of Nick Alford. They're riding on the inside, but we'll have to see if Alan Bledsoe's tires will hold him on that inside line. Gets real close. They're right there. Man, look at that. Matthew Wilson in the 48 doing a good job checking up and not pushing that 42. And really, that does take a lot of discipline. When you have a run, you're coming up on that car, not to nudge him. There's a point where you let him know you're there, but you don't want to send him around and get yourself caught up in it. Ouch! As that 48 machine of Matthew Wilson takes a bite out of that front stretch, and that's going to cost him a lot of time. He's already fallen off by half a second just for that move there, but man, seems to go ahead, get back in that aerodynamic bubble, and try to pull his way back toward the front.
Nick Alford, earlier in this run, we saw him battling with Better Place and Hoot, but because of that, he has seemed to have burnt his tires up. Then he was overdriving corners massively, so the tires are not his best friend right now. Bledsoe on the inside of Nick Alford. They do rub a little bit, but they're able to both stay steady, and even though Nick Alford does have the slight advantage right now, he's going to be on the high line, and Bledsoe's going to be out. Oh, that's not what you want. Nick Alford up into the wall is going to have a hard time getting it off. Matthew Wilson is going to be thanking them both for just having that little incident and is going to be elevated up a position.
Boy, Nick Alford, I'm sure, is lighting him up over that radio right now. With Alan Bledsoe kind of diving toward the inside. And that's what I was a little nervous about. If Alan Bledsoe, yes, he's making good moves. Yes, he's picking up a lot of pace. But, can those tires hold? Right now, your tire-saving guys are the ones up in the lead. It seems to be a little more conservative up front and then try to make them last. And that seems to be what's having them get away. I mean, Jeremy Richmond is almost 3.5 seconds off the front two cars. And those guys are, just starting to really, really pull away here. And I just don't know. I think a caution would be helpful for some of these other drivers. I know there are plenty of tires. I believe there were 7 sets here tonight. But, boy, this is tough. I mean, we're looking at, we have a wonderful 86 degrees for air temperature right now. But we're still over 120 degrees on the track. And it's just starting to, just the wear and tear on the tires right now. Is just starting to be real tough here.
Yeah, we known that tires were going to be quite an issue, especially if you decide to go too aggressive too early on. The 23 going a lap down is going to just bring it into pit road. Seems to have accelerated, so maybe some sort of technical issue or maybe just scheduled pit stop.
All right, Brandon 6 would be that number 23 car out there, so he is coming down pit. We'll have to kind of see how these guys line up and decide to get going here. Interesting. Look how much these guys are just pulling away. Jeremy Richmond 4 seconds off now, and it's nothing against Jeremy Richmond. He's doing, he's out there racing a good line here tonight. It's just these two cars right now just seem to have the right line, and I think the only way to do it is either to short pit them and try to see if you can get back up front, a caution to kind of level the playing field, or that's it. And these guys are just having to kind of watch them drive away with this thing.
One thing that can also be quite beneficial right now, we see Hoot's not really trying to make an overtake. We saw he had the pace and even though he's not really using the pace because they're teammates, he's just now riding and let them each other pull away and really playing the team car, which is not an easy thing to do, but really shows a level of maturity when a driver is able to do that.
Wow. Yeah, and we kind of rotated back here to Jeremy Richmond with Brandon Fetterplace there. Almost got in a little bit of a tie up there, and I'm actually going to roll us back really quick right here. How close he got to clipping Fetterplace there. And almost really, ended up with a massive incident here. Let's take a quick look here at that 98. Touches that apron. Watch this right here. Oh, man, that was close. As Jeremy Richmond just barely clears him. All right, let's get back on track here. So, wow, that was close. I think Jeremy Richmond has figured it out and said, you know what? Kind of the heck with it. In the pit I go. I can't hold this car anymore. And a lot of drivers out here thinking the exact same thing. 42 of Bledsoe in, Alfred in, Jeremy Richmond in. It looks like most of this JKR Motorsports. Kelly Thomas is in. Messer is in. So a lot of drivers coming down pit road right now and having to, absolutely, kind of throw in the towel. I need tires and let's get our way back out there. 12th place down. Is a lap down at this point. It would be absolutely detrimental if a caution came out for these drivers. But right now, the leader, Matthew Batby, out there in front. I think Riley Hoots, I think he's actually thrown in the towel, and he's going to go ahead and come down pit road as well. No real battles on the track at this point, so I want to keep an eyeball on Riley Hoots here. And I know anybody tuning into the broadcast here, we're going to be very careful and kind of, on explaining what Riley Hoots does here because these, oh boy. Except I will mention that Riley Hoots does miss his pit stop there, so that will cost him about 3 seconds. So that's going to hurt.
Batby has just brought it into pit lane, was able to get it slowed up nicely. Doesn't look to be taking any risk on pit entry, but hopefully he doesn't miss his pit box like how Hoots did. That's going to cost Hoots a little bit of time, but with the team game, I'd say it's not going to be as detrimental as it could be if it was under caution or towards the end of the race.
All right, Nicholas Don Francisco right now on our ticker showing that 25 machine is in the lead. Isaac Emerson in the highest spot he's been tonight up there in second. Villalobos back in the third. So we're taking a look here at Batby. Going through his pit stop, a bit different than Riley Hoots there. So we'll have to see how that works out for him. And I think maybe something happened with Riley Hoots when he slid through that pit. If that, is going to give him a little bit of trouble there. And here we go. Riley Hoots on the inside of that, I believe that's a 23 machine? Up there toward the top. Yeah, I think so. Yeah, that's a 23 machine. Don Francisco, 22. Our new race leader here. Look at that. Up in the front, Isaac Emerson, 2 seconds, but let's see. Don Francisco pit on lap 60. Isaac Emerson on lap 66. So that must have been when him and the 3 ended up sliding through, and it looks like the 42's around. And that will bring out a caution, and that is going to ruin a lot of people's nights. Right now, 8th place back is a lap down. Holy cow, that is going to change the entire race here, Kynan. We saw Jeremy Richmond pit, Matthew Batby pit, Riley Hoots' pit. But racers like Fifield, Nick Alford, Fetterplace, Zachary Denius in the 99, these guys are all lapped down. Jeremy Richmond's going to stay out. He just pit. Matthew Batby and Riley Hoots just pit. So these guys are not going to get their lap back. Holy cow, and that is going to change the race for a lot of these drivers. And really, once you're that lap down, that may be the end of your night here. No sense in not continuing to try out here, but let's go ahead and give a quick little look here at Alan Bledsoe here, Kynan, and let's watch and see what happens with Nick Alford there on the inside.
Bledsoe just comes down and doesn't get the run that maybe Alfred expected. Alfred was able to carry a lot more speed in, just sends the 42 around.
Wow, and that is not going to be good for Bledsoe there. Bledsoe did pit on lap 98. Boy, that is, well, Shannon, out there, if you are watching, if Bledsoe wasn't mad, he's mad now. I'm not sure on that shot there with Nick Alford in that 95 machine, kind of what transpired here. I mean, that's a tough call. You kind of see that 42 just not being able to get it, and 95 really kind of sticks it into the gas and sends him on around. So that's going to be really heartbreaking for that 42 machine. We'll have to see how he ends up and fares through this one. A lot of conversating, I am sure, for these drivers. Alan Bledsoe back there to the 15th position now. And we'll have to see how some of these drivers end up. As we are taking a quick peek here. Whew, boy, that is tough. All right, Christopher Miller checking in. Went to the local track tonight, so I missed the race. Man, it'd be wild if you were out here as well, up here in the Tangle Up in the top 10 that you always are, Christopher Miller. But man, really a tough race it is here tonight on this concrete Nashville track. This is it's a heck of a shot here. Getting around. That'll be the second time, actually, if you're just tuning in, that Bledsoe has been turned around. And fortunately, he both times hasn't really damaged the car at all. I think the worst damage his car has received is just flat spotting of those tires. So fortunately, he's not folding the car up for that, and we'll have to kind of take a peek. I don't know if there was a end-of-the-line penalty served here. It looks like Nick Alford has a lot of cars passing him.
You would be correct. From Nick Alford's roll in sending the 42 around for the second time tonight, Nick Alford has been given an EOL and will have to start the restart of this race towards the end of the pack.
Boy, and that is not good for the JKR Motorsports team and Nick Alford. A lot of practice every race trying to get this thing squared away. He is now a lap down in the back of the pack. So, 95 machine. Really, not checking out completely right here, but is definitely in a lot of trouble. In a lot of trouble for some of these. And I just we'll have to see kind of how this ticker works out here. Showing us even Kelly Thomas is here. These guys are bunched up, but there's no way between, Kelly Thomas and Fifield here. These guys are, that far behind. Here we go. All right. They probably got the wave around, and they are going to go ahead and work their way back around. A lot of those lapped cars going ahead and getting pushed around. So rather than only 8 cars on the lead lap, this will actually make it where 15 cars are on the lead lap and will be a lot more fruitful for some of these drivers. Violet Lines, Ian Janicek there. Here, ooh, ouch. You have COVID. Feels like you got hit by a freight train, and man, I hope you get better. Personally, fortunately, knock on wood, I have not gotten COVID. I heard people that do. It is a life-changing event, so get better out there, bud. We understand you not out here simming tonight. Take care of yourself, and we will see you back on the track hopefully next week. If not after that, Martinsville will be next week. So if that is your strong track, man, get better and get back out here on the track. A lot of drivers definitely miss having more tires on the track, laying some rubber out here tonight. But man, it is a tumble out there. It is a tumble out there for a lot of these drivers. And if Shannon is still out there, Shannon Bledsoe, man, I know it may be. I did mention something at the beginning of the race. If you can let us know how Alan Bledsoe's kiddo's doing, we would love to know. I hope that kiddo's doing okay, and y'all are back home and enjoying the race here tonight. But Shane Hoots, I see you out there in the chat. Riley up in the lead. Villalobos will be on the outside. Matthew Batby, Don Francisco in the 4th. Jeremy Richmond 5th. Boy, this is going to be a mix-up here of the battle of the racers here, and we'll have to see how this one pans out. Look at that, as they Riley Hoots kind of stacks up that field. That's what he loves to do. Wait till he gets to the minimum speed and then really stick it here, right here in the Geico restart zone. And away he goes, Kynan, pulling away. So that already moves Matthew Batby into the second position. Jeremy Richmond fighting for the third of Villalobos on the outside.
Jeremy Richmond should be able to benefit from the 89 and the 24 working together and is going to be able to clear the 78 fairly comfortably. Going to be a good restart by Jeremy Richmond in particular. Oh, we got a car in the grass on the back straight away.
Oh, man, and just as you say that, car in the grass, we'll tune in if we got somebody. See if you can roll back and find that right now. But right now, I've got Matthew Batby battling along here aside. Riley Hoots taking the lead away from Riley Hoots. And here we go again, 89 and the 24. One in front of the other, kind of playing follow the leader here at this point. Matthew Batby has the car to beat. Oh, no, Riley Hoots is spinning. He is in the infield, and that will probably not bring a caution.
No, I wouldn't say that it is. Was able to keep it off the wall at least. But it's definitely going to put a massive dampen on his hopes for really being able to finish the night off well now. But luckily, did it on lap 109. There's going to be a stage caution in 11 laps. So, yeah, it's a shame that happened, but better to do it now when a stage caution is just around the corner.
Oh, man. Really, and he could use that stage caution. The key is not going a lap down there with Nick Alford there in the 16th. Brian Messer in the 17th. Really tough break for Riley Hoots, but we will see Riley Hoots up in the front. I can assure you of that. 85 laps to go left in this race. Matthew Batby up here in the lead. Villalobos only half a second behind. Jeremy Richmond behind that. John Francisco, new racer here in the fourth. Fifield has just taken over Isaac Emerson. For the, oh boy, they're still fighting. And just as I say that, look at that. Isaac Emerson and Fifield fighting it out. 45 and the 92 machine. These two Chevrolets really battling it out here, going ahead. Looks like Fifield gets the better of Isaac Emerson, since Emerson's had a little bit of trouble all race. But man, look at him up here in the top 10. Was top 5 for a little while, but had to dial it back there just a little bit. Man, really, what a battle this is. Shannon Bledsoe, see you out there in the chat. Glad to hear. So the youngins all good, but I hope Bledsoe is able to turn this around. Fortunately, we do have that stage caution at 120. So these cars will come down for fuel and tires, going ahead and getting these things back together, back on the track. Let's see how Bledsoe is doing back here. Boy, he is in a mess right now. Looks like Kelly Thomas there on the inside. Really, Bledsoe not real strong there on the outside, so he's got to try to beat Kelly, get behind Fetterplace, and start working his way up the field. But Bledsoe in the 10th position, so good top 10 move for that 42 machine there, Kynan.
You said he wasn't too good on the outside, but was very aggressive going into the turn. Looked like Kelly Thomas was also more so just letting Bledsoe really be able to take it, but Bledsoe is able to move up and is going to be able to start closing his way up to the back of Nick Alford and the 20th Fetter place.
Yeah, Nick Alford right there trying to make sure he stays in front of Brandon Messer there in the, Brian Messer in the 54. Trying to stay up in front of him. That way he gets that lucky dog position. But, man, that is going to be some trouble for that machine right there. Looks like 95 has gone ahead and let off of Brandon Fetterplace there. Seeing these guys are about 6 laps till that stage break. So, deep breath from some of these drivers as we are still trying to stay under green. But, man, I just don't see how, as these cars are really bumping and banging around. Wow. Definitely some tight racing out here. Kind of look at that. As we see, let's rotate up to Jeremy Richmond and Don Francisco. See how these guys are doing. See if that 25 machine is going to try to give that 98 a little bit of the paint job on the front of his car. It looks like he gets a little crummy pull out of that turn right there. But, man, he's got that outside race line. That just Jeremy Richmond trying that inside line, kind of ducking off the racing surface onto that apron, trying to see if he can, make that little cut. But I just don't know if he can hold off that 25. That 25 is getting a good run here, kind of.
25 does seem to have a lot more pace than the 98. But the 98 is not making it easy. Going to drift up the track. 25 is not going to be able to make enough of a run just yet. Might think to put it to the inside, poking the nose out, but Jeremy Richmond driving it in deep, 25 taking it easy, deciding to let it roll through the corner, letting the tires stay together and keep that tire advantage, potentially to make a later stage fight. But coming to lap 118 of 120 until the stage caution, you're running out of time. So if you want to get an extra position, now's the time to do it.
All right, and here we go. Nicholas Donfrancisco there in the 25, trying to make a little bit of move there on Jeremy Richmond. Really, oh man, as he gets a good run down that front stretch. And, you know, kind of in your opinion here, oh man, just as I was getting ready to say that, you know, really, I was going to say, do you kind of stay behind Jeremy Richmond, use that draft and push him down the front stretch and get him kind of out of shapes, you know, get him into the turn faster than he wants to be? But there we go. Seems to work out for him. Jeremy Richmond dialing all the way back to the 6th position. Lost 3 positions on that one. And unfortunately having a lot of trouble there. Isaac Emerson. Look at that. The Phoenix right now. He is coming out of the embers and he is up into the top 5. So that 92 machine still moving fast and up into the top 5. So Isaac Emerson, after a few week hiatus, staying up and out of trouble for now. Brandon Fetterplace, we saw him kind of clip the wall there a little bit. And Isaac Emerson up in the 4th. And just as I say that, Fifield got his hands full. Matthew Batby, boy, man, look at that as he is away. And that should do it for the stage caution here, Kynan. Holy cow.
Bit of excitement towards the end of there. Isaac was able to get himself up into the 4th position, which is going to lend nicely to being able to have extra track position. You're away from some of the danger zone, as we've said in the past, so you just need to start thinking about what have you learned from the previous couple stages. How have your tires been? What can you really improve on, and where and who will you be really fighting with towards the end of the race?
Yeah, there's going to be trouble for some of these drivers out here, and really each pit stop is a learning experience. You're checking the percentages and the heat in these tires. I've noticed that you know, the left inside and the right outside of the tires on these next gens hardly wear at all. They are massive inside tire wearers. That, you know, that right front inside will be almost, you know 40%, and the left front outside will be at 40%. So it almost seems like a really bad alignment issue. I know Bledsoe mentioned it at the last race at Homestead. It's almost like a really bad camber or an alignment issue. Is just really what's holding these cars back. Looks like Nick Alfred's going to go ahead and stay out on the track, hopefully get his lap back, and then he's going to have to make a quick pit stop to stay from going behind a lap here. But man, really, we're going to have to see. I was going to run you guys through the top 10, but not until pit. These guys may start short pitting and start shuffling up, so I don't want to lie to you guys and tell you where we are. But now would be a good time for that shout out there. We do have them rotating up there in the ticker. Appreciate you joining us at the High Octane Sim Series. This is Patrick Morrison again here with 10-4 Broadcasting. Kynan Jones, our fantastic color man, up here in the booth with me. Captain Jack Smokehouse. If you're looking for a good munchie there, go ahead and check them out. W Energy Drinks, another fine sponsor they have. I know some of these guys out here racing drink that stuff before a race and during practices during the week. And Admin Box, they are another place that you want to go see for one of those league boxes. Man, they are one of a kind. No one else does it but them. I believe they even have a new updated style. It even adds a few more buttons, and I believe it even has, what do they call it, RBG? Kind of has the glowing buttons and everything, so that's pretty cool. But if you go ahead and use that 10-4-box with 2 X's, that'll go ahead and knock that thing down to a manageable price of $125. So check that out, and man, here we go. So as we come across that line, we'll get a nice little update from some of these drivers and see how they came out in front. But I believe Batby is going to retain the lead, if I'm not mistaken. Alrighty, and it looks like here we go. Matthew Batby in the lead, Villalobos second, Don Francisco in third, Isaac Emerson retains fourth, Fifield fifth, Fetterplace in the sixth, Alan Bledsoe, after everything, managing to stay in the 7th position. So with fresh tires, I definitely expect to see him on the move Matthew Wilson 8th, Paul Bojanic there in the 9th, and Kelly Thomas. All right, seeing that 51 car, doing a great job. Back up in the top 10. Great job. And as always, Shane, check that out. Right outside the top 10, Riley Hoots in the 11th position. So we'll have to see how this one chops up for them. Getting this thing underway, but man, this is... We'll have to see how this gets going here, man, because this is... how this gets going, because some of these drivers, you know, it's okay. Now this is the final stage. We got, let's say, between lap 125 when we're probably back under green, and, you know, we're starting to get an idea, you know, of how these tires are. Now we got to start counting how many out of those 7 that we had, how many do we have left? How's my fuel doing? How are we going to make it? And we'll kind of have to see how this works out for some of these drivers here at the Nashville Super Speedway, kind of.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be interesting. For Riley Hoots down in the 11th position, he's got a lot of ground to make up if he wants to have any real shot of playing up at the front with his teammate of Batby, but he's got the pace. We've seen him go from the back to the front in very short amount of time, so new tires is basically refreshing everything, but you're going to retain your memories from previously in this race, so it's going to make things very interesting. So if you're only just now tuning in, you better stay around because things are about to get very, very interesting for the final 70 laps of this race.
Oh, yeah. And, man, I tell you what, I am excited to see what these guys have to allow here for us. As you can see, the caution man up there, our flag man up there, showing that caution flag for the final time scheduled for this race. Here we go. These guys coming around turn 4. So, you know, these guys, you would think you'd be settled in a race like this as long as it is, but man, you've got to have the jitters when you come up to a restart like this. Matthew Batby in front. Villalobos has got to be on that loud pedal quick before Batby gets away. So we'll have to see how they line up here for that Geico restart zone.
Batby leaving it very late, probably not having the confidence with his teammate being so far back, so maybe just wanting to let iRacing more so depict the restart. Better place getting all over the back of the 92, but so far able to keep it all together. So far, everything's all clear throughout the pack.
Yeah, we kind of have to be careful. I saw Jeremy Richmond kind of banging around back there, trying to keep that thing all in one piece. Let's rotate up to the 48 of Wilson there, trying to work on the inside of Fetter Place.
Oh,
hard move there. Boy, they're kind of bumping and banging there. So now you kind of see everybody starting to get, you know, whole lot more courage going into these turns. You know, not really waiting for those tires to set up. They said enough rubber's been laid down on the track. That track temperature has come down about 4 degrees, but that does not work out for Wilson as he slides back up. Look out! As that 48 is now collecting cars. 32 with a little target fixation there kind of takes him out as well. Oh, no. The 48, I think, did his best trying to save that one. And obviously he's having to tow that car. That absolutely smoked that car right out of there. And let's go ahead to this, let's go to the Goodyear blimp. Let's see what that one's got. As we go here, let's see that 48 kind of get around this turn here, kind of.
The low line where you're easily most able to unload the tires. 48 it saved there, and then it just snapped back up the track, and drivers not being able to check up in time, and just all starts stacking up. 32 after making contact with the 48 then gets into that inside wall.
Man, if I'm not mistaken, Brosecker, that car. All right, we are going to take a ride along with Brosecker. This is going to be a wild ride. Y'all kind of keep your eyes on this. Watch this. Comes off, slides back up the track, and it clips him. And watch how he saves it. Oh, man. Holy cow. He got close on that one.
Wasn't really a lot of wheel control in them. Also using the brake to modulate and rotate the car around. It's a skill that I have been able to learn fairly well, and it's very satisfying when you can pull it off. So I'm also just using the brakes to straighten the car back out as bots have decided to make a return.
48. Oh, and the 3 just barely clears him. Right there. Look at that. Oh, it just almost gets away. Clink. Just sends Brosecker around. And you know he's got to be thinking, man, not what I want to see is face in the field coming at me. And really interested to see him not turn the wheel. And really let the car come to him. So, great move there by Brosecker. Look at that. Boy, I gotta be careful. Talk to your spotter when you come back down. Oof. All right. All right, man. So this is this will work good for some of the guys out there looking for a little bit of a fuel mileage game here, getting back out there. Brosecker now in the 15th position. I believe Brosecker went ahead and came down pit road. Lap 128 decided to come down. Michael Cunningham in that 9. Keep seeing him coming down pit road a bunch. We did talk before. He was 5 laps down, and he is up on the lead lap. So his cautions have been very friendly to him, and a lot of good strategy when to stay out and when to come down. So this works out good for that 9 machine. I would assume he's probably going to top off on a little bit of fuel. Ooh, wow. He's actually getting tires here, kind of. Let's see.
Maybe
right side and left.
perhaps
All
just
right.
burnt the tires up too much, or either that, or maybe just forgot to untick them. I know I've done it before, and it's really annoying. You come in, you think you're just gonna get damage repair. Oh no, I've just suddenly forgotten to untick my tires, and suddenly I've just put myself in a really bad position, especially if I have none left.
Yeah, you're definitely going to be bashing your head off the steering wheel. Fortunately, these guys are strapped in with a 6-point harness. That way they don't do anything like that. But, man, you got to be hating when that kind of thing happens out there. Matthew Batby still leading this race. Let's see. All right, Shane. Riley Hoots is in the 8th position here, so he's still got a little more work to do. He did start in the 11th and now up to 8th in a matter of a couple laps there. I believe only about 2 laps got away from him. And he was able to make some moves and get up there. Jeremy Richmond back to the 9th, and Redinius there in the 10th position. So a lot of these JKR Motorsports vehicles. So let's see. I know we got 9, 10, and 11, or where those cars are. I believe, yeah, 9, 10, 11. Are a lot of cars up there. Fifield is up there in the 4th position. Yeah, Don Francisco's joining him here tonight. 54. Messer is joining them here tonight. Boy, man, just a lot of... I would like to see those JKR Motorsports cars kind of line it up, really, bumper to bumper and push each other up there. As you can see, look at that. As the 95 is getting kind of sandwiched in between those guys. So the JKR Motorsports cars bumping each other right there. So I would totally expect this one to be go, go, go when we get under green. But, man, kind of we're lining up for that Geico restart zone again. So here we go.
Yeah, it's going to be very interesting. I'm going to be keeping an eye out on the 24 of Riley Hoot. He's got the pace, so it'll be interesting to see if he can make up any positions on this restart, especially with his teammate depicting when we go back to green flag.
All right, Riley Hoots does have Alan Bledsoe in front of him, so he's going to have that to contend with. But right now, contending is Villalobos, having to contend with that awesome restart that you saw Matthew Batby get off right there, pulling away by almost 4 car lengths and more. Not letting off. Look at the distance. He's gone ahead and pulled away from the field. Holy cow. Matthew Batby absolutely pulling away by over half a second and is just now coming into turn 3. That is a lot of speed out of that 89 machine. Villalobos has a lot to contend with, trying to figure out how to get back up there in this pile. But, man, you can see. Let's see. Oh, Riley Hoot's making a dangerous move. Here he comes, sending it 3 wide with Bledsoe on the outside, Feder Place on the inside. Jeremy Richmond starting to work his way on the inside of Hoots there, and boy, fortunately that 3 wide kind of breaks it up right there as Riley Hoots stays in the 7th position, and he's going to have to reevaluate Brandon Federplace there in front of him, but not without Fifield on the outside, holding him honest down toward the bottom line there, but that is going to work out for Riley Hoots as here he comes, working on the outside of Federplace, getting a little loose. Here we go, Kynan.
Bledsoe just had a massive hit into the outside wall out of turn 4. But Batby on that restart probably thought everything was okay. Then he just looks in the mirror and he just sees a piranha pit. Everyone just chuckling for position, eating away at each other, trying to find out wherever they can end up being in the picking order.
Man, I love that Piranha Pit. I like what you're talking about there. As here we go. Riley Hoots still working on the inside of Fetter Place there, and really, we'll have to see how this works out for his tire conservation here later in the race. I would fully expect right now that Riley Hoots probably has a set of tires hanging off to the side in the background later on for this race. If he does, this is going to work out good. I would assume that the mindset at this point has got to be pedal to the metal. I've got to get back up front, stay out of this, meet back up with my teammate, and then see if you can short pit Matthew Batby to get away. But boy, he's got his work cut out for him here as Riley Hoots making a lot of headway, staying up in the 6th position, but a second and a half off pace. So Fetter Place and Don Francisco are the next ones he's looking at in front of him, but not without Jeremy Richmond going to give it a shot up the back as well.
Yeah, Hoots wanting to make an overtake on Fetter Place, but just not having anywhere that he can go. But he's also got to be looking ahead to the 25 and the 92, going side by side, hoping that they don't come together, but also trying to use that advantage of them holding up Fetter Place to then maybe be able to elevate him up 3 positions, which will get him up into the podium place. But right now, not being able to have anywhere to be able to go, even with that extra pace.
Riley Hoots has to definitely keep a calm and cool composure here as he is in a nasty place there on the outside with Fetter Place. We have seen Riley Hoots work that outside line, but he's got to wait for those tires to heat up. The track temperature has dropped a lot, and, you know, it's still hot, 114 degrees, so kind of we've already dropped off 9 degrees since these guys started. I believe it was 123 is about when we started, so, you know, the tire temperature's falling off. So what does that mean for the grip of the tires at this point?
What that means is it's not going to be so much an issue of getting the tires up to temperature, but it means even though it's a little bit cooler, you're going to be able to go a lot more aggressive than what you could earlier. It's going to be a lot more forgiving. The car is also going to be a lot more grippy. We hear drivers saying how at night races, when they practice in the day, the car feels completely different. It's because of there being so much more grip with the cooler track temperatures. So Riley Hood looking to the outside, but with these lower temperatures, you're going to have better tire wear, you're going to have better grip, and you're going to be a lot more comfortable in the time, 9 times out of 10.
Holy cow, and we see Riley who's kind of getting a real jam up right here. Kind of a disgusting feeling he's getting right there with 98 of Jeremy Richmond rotating up into Fetter Place as we are in the Michelin Chopper view here. Look out, JKR Motorsports cars are pulling through. Nick Alford working on the inside, holding Fetter Place toward the top, and look at Riley Hoots. Kind of just has nowhere to go. Not enough speed out of that car. He's just got to get that wind up, and I just don't know where all that speed came from Jeremy Richmond. He was hanging in the back, and then all of a sudden, like a rocket, he just came through, and boom, here he is. So Jeremy Richmond 5th, Fetter Place 6th, Riley Hoots 7th, and Nick Alford battling him right now for that 7th position. So these guys, 95 and 24, Riley Hoots has just got to keep trying, but man, it's not easy.
You can almost hear the frustration from Riley Hoots just being held up high, unable to go anywhere, being trapped behind the 20, who was trapped behind the 92 and the 25. But then out of nowhere, Jeremy Richmond and Nick Alford coming in for a massive spanner in the work, and that's going to really dampen the 24 spirits. But anything can happen. We still have a pit stop to do, and that may be done under green flag, hopefully, and we will hopefully not have another call. Or Riley Hoots getting really close to the rear bumper actually gives the 95 a bit of a nudge. Luckily wasn't able to hook him, so we do stay green, but things are really starting to heat up now as temps are starting to flare.
Yeah, well, Riley Hoots, I did see a little earlier there. Riley Hoots gave Isaac Emerson a quick shot to that bumper, but right now Emerson up in the 4th and is now giving a shot to Nick Alford there. So you can definitely feel the frustration. Riley Hoots really gives people room, but when you start getting in the way of his race line, he's going to start nudging you. You need to get out of my way, or you need to speed up. And, you know, if you speed up, I still want you out of my way. So, as you can see, these cars right here. So right now we have, I believe, 4th through 9th. This clutch of cars right here are about to cause a whole lot of trouble right here. But as we watch them kind of trading paint here, Jeremy Richmond works his way up into the 4th position. Matthew Batby, quick look at him, looking at about a 1.5 second lead off Villalobos. So I think Matthew Batby is going to be a definite favorite for tonight. Some of these guys may have to short pit to try to switch it up on him. But Villalobos second, Don Francisco there 3 seconds off pace. But here we go. Jeremy Richmond up in front. Isaac Emerson behind him. Brandon Fetterplace. We're watching him in the 20 machine right here on that 20 bang Toyota. Nick Alford in the 7th. Jacob Fifield slides up into the 8th position. And Riley Hoots back to 9th. So these guys are definitely having to kind of take it nice and easy and figure out how to get away as Brian Messer rounds out our top 10.
Nick Alford has really been holding up the 24, which has allowed the 45 to really start battling with him. But Better Place holding up the 45, not allowing him to be able to clear Riley Hoots. But Hoots has not been able to get to where he really wants to be able to dive it up the inside. But 25 way up the racetrack, that's going to allow Jeremy Richmond to be able to slip by fairly easily. But Riley Hoots is not going to be liking seeing the 95 in front of him still, especially with how much he's being held up. Makes you wonder, if this was Nashville Fairgrounds, would he be sent around by now?
Yeah, well, Riley Hoots is definitely seen the checkup that Nick Alford's putting on Brandon Fetterplace there. And Fetterplace just with a lot more discipline, a lot more calm moves here, working his way around. But, man, I think a lot less brake and a lot more pushing is what you see Riley Hoots doing. Look at that. Quick move there around 2 cars up into the 6th and is now trying not to lose this pack. Look at the speed all of a sudden. So 24, exactly like Jeff Gordon, all of a sudden decides to open that car up. Seems to have an extra gear in that car. 24, look at this. Here we go. Slicing through the middle and going to dial in behind Isaac Emerson there in the 92. Don't let Jeremy Richmond get too far away as he's going to use a little bit of the draft here from the 92 and get slung forward here, Kynan.
Riley Hoots just tried to make a look at potentially making a move on the 92, but instead deciding to pull him behind, knowing he has the extra grip, probably helping being held up and running up extra lane higher. Is going to look to the inside now, going into 1 and 2. Should be able to drift up and clear the 92. The 92 is going to look to the inside, but you got to be careful not to drift up and tag the corner, having to back off, not to make contact with the 24. Better place nearly in the wall. Nick Alford is going to be able to carry that extra momentum. Looking to the inside of the 92, is going to keep it down there. 92 drifting up the racetrack whilst the 95 is able to keep it steady. Fifield getting into the back of Better Place in the 20 bang Toyota Camry.
Yeah, as we were taking a quick little ride along there with Isaac Emerson, you did see how the car kind of kept going straight, yet the wheel turns. So Isaac Emerson definitely having a lot of front tire wear out of that car. Here we go with 48 laps to go. So we are getting in that final stretch. Green flag pit stops are a must at this point unless there is a caution. But right now, Isaac Emerson doing his best to keep that car under control and out front. I'm sure the rest of the drivers behind him are battling it just as hard. But man, Riley Hoots 4.5 seconds off the lead. Villalobos only 1 point, still about that 2.5 seconds. And I think Matthew Batby may be kind of, as they call him, drag racing, kind of sandbagging it here. I think he's kind of hanging out at that comfortable 1.5 second lead and just going ahead and cruising at this point.
Having come from a drag racing background, having raced in junior dragster, I have had to do my fair share of sandbagging just to be able to stay within my dial-in. So all you need to do is just be ahead at the line, but if you go too fast, you will burn the tires up. So that actually can be worked out here, and you go too quickly, you burn your tires up, you fall back, which can be quite detrimental. So Batby knows he's got the pace, he has more than enough speed to spare, but he has to make the tires last. So just managing the gap, he's able to then take full advantage of it towards the end of the race.
Yeah, and speaking of dialing back and burning up those tires, Don Francisco in that 25 machine, rolling back here in the 9th. We did see him up there in the top 3, just having a hard time getting that 25 machine around. But man, maybe a quick shot of that Gatorade that is his sponsor when he pulls back into pit for a fresh set of tires. Here we come. Alan Bledsoe, look at him going in that 42 machine, trying to see if he can break back into the top 10. Obviously, it seems Alan Bledsoe, his biggest fallback here tonight are the tires. They're just kind of failing him at this point, whether them being old or new. You just can't seem to get him to hook to this concrete and stay under under control. But right now, Alan Bledsoe going ahead and breaking into the top 10 right here and doing a fantastic job keeping the car clean. so far, but the next pit stop he has is going to be the make or break point for him in this race.
Now, if you're going to make a pit stop, you don't want to slide through your pit box. You don't want to get a speeding penalty, and you definitely don't want to have a spin on pit exit. These are all things that we've seen in the past, and it can now make or break your race. Especially if you cause damage and lose a wheel and you have to come into the pits again, you'll already go a lap down if you pit. So if you can stay out as long as possible, maybe catch a caution, but if you stay out too late, then you're going to have not a lot of tire grip, whilst everyone who does pit are going to be flying around the track a lot quicker than you and will undercut you, which is basically when a driver pits before you and is able to use those brand new tires, in this case brand new Goodyear Eagles, and be able to fly around the track much faster than you and be able to slip underneath you and be able to, well, when you're pitting, you come out behind whilst they're flying around having a jolly good time.
Alrighty, 153 laps. We're on 154. In the books right now as we're going around the track. Fetter Place taking a little look there on the inside of Isaac Emerson. I believe some of these drivers out there would like to have a nice little sponsor like ATD that is rooting out there for Alan Bledsoe. I know he's going to have a little chat with them about how many sets of tires he needs for this race to keep, to keep that 42 machine under control. That Chevrolet has been all over the place here tonight, but is not entirely his fault. He's doing some great driving, keeping that thing out of the wall. But once again, we see Bledsoe kind of there on the outskirts there, trying to make a little move on the outside there, I believe, of Kelly Thomas of the 51. Once again, I talk about that silent driver in the 51 machine going ahead and working there. But, man, look at Fetter Place really working on the side of Isaac Emerson there, but it is not going unnoticed. Isaac Emerson trying to hold that outside line, keep 20 there, but just not enough there for Isaac Emerson to go ahead and stay up in front. Isaac Emerson back to the 7th position now. Villalobos. Let's go ahead and rotate up to that 78 machine. Just as Villalobos clips that wall and is over 3.5 seconds off the pace. So right now, Matthew Batby is almost able to cruise. And I think we should go ahead and let's take a look at Batby here and kind of take a little look around the track, give him a crank it up session for this 89 machine and kind of see how he gets around the track here. Alrighty, and there we go. We saw a little bit of Matthew Batby there trying to give this thing the best he's got. Riley Hoots giving Villalobos a good shot up here for 2nd place. So here we go. Riley Hoots doing a look at him. Coming all the way back from 11th up into the 2nd position. And now has to chase down his teammate. But man, 5 seconds is a lot to make up on worn tires. 36 laps to go left here at the Nashville 195. This is going to be a heck of a run here, kind of, and really, it's going to be an uphill battle. Really, what is the options that Riley Hoots has right now to catch Matthew Batby?
Right now, Riley Hoots doesn't really have a whole lot that he can really do. He can try gain a bit of time on pit road, but it's much easier to lose time. So, you can maybe hope that Batby makes a mistake on pit road, which slides through his box, or maybe spins out entering pit lane. We've seen these things happen, but Batby will have that in the back of his mind and will most likely just take it easy and not really want to risk sliding or making any form of time loss. So really the only shot Rally Hoots has of being able to see his teammate again is if there's a caution, which is not impossible, but as things stand is kind of unlikely. But when we start gaining some more tire wear, Nick Alford is now exiting pit lane as well as Jeremy Richmond, so you got to be careful when coming on new tires whilst also having cars around you on old tires. If there's going to really be a caution, now's the time to have it happen when you're really going to be brought out of your groove that you have found yourself in.
Yeah, I'm really kind of watching what our pit timing is. You know, this is gonna start really setting in with some of these drivers. Just take a quick peek. Matthew Batby, his fastest time was a 30.4. He's now running a 32.2. Okay, Riley Hoots ran a 34.4 or 30.4, and now he's running a 32.2. So these guys have almost fallen off by about 2 seconds, and really, how much farther do they want to go running this slow? When you got JKR Motorsports, Jeremy Richmond, these guys are starting to come into pit. I mean, it's going to start adding up real quick. These guys have got to, you've got to pit at this point. I understand hanging out there and hanging out front, but 2 seconds, if I can get back fast on new tires, I can pick up 2 seconds per lap. 30 seconds a lap, man, really 5 laps. Now I'm starting to reel you in, and now you're trying to get fired up with your tires, and then, and then it's a pass off here. So really interesting to see how long these guys are staying out. As I say that, look at that. Riley Hoots going ahead, throwing in the towel, and here he comes down pit lane.
There was a little bit of a wheel lock up there, but was able to keep control of it. Probably only cost not even a full 10th of a second, but luckily was able to keep it under control. Now you've got to get into your pit box and keep it all steady. I'll keep an eye on Matthew Batby as we keep an eye out on, see if perhaps the 24 decides to take any gambles. The 89 is staying out. Right now it seems like Riley Hoots was able to get into his pit box all fine. 4 tires, seems everything's gone well there. You don't want to be losing any wheels. And then he's dropped and back out into the race.
Yeah, no gambles for that 24 machine. Going to go ahead and make sure he's going to go ahead and make sure he's got 4 new rubber tires, new shoes for the car. Going ahead and getting back out there. Last thing you want to do is lose any sort of traction this late in the race. Ladies and gentlemen, we have 30 laps to go here at the Nashville 195. Thank you for choosing 10-4 Broadcasting. Kynan, man, I know you are having a heck of a time. Looks like Fetter Place. Oh, man, Bledsoe's got to be careful watching that pit entry here. There we go, as he gets it slowed down there, bud.
Matthew Batby also decided to come in. Now he's got to make sure not to slide through his pit box. With Riley Hoots pitting before, he's going to be a lot quicker earlier on, so Batby has to be extra careful not to slide, which he doesn't. Right sides go up perfectly fine. Does he maybe risk it? But with the track position he's got right now, I wouldn't. Yep, there's the left tires. So he's going to take all 4 tires. Now he's got to be careful not to do a Nick Alford end spit on pit exit.
Yeah, looks like Bledsoe. I saw a quick repair up in the front of that car. I don't know if he used his fast repair on that one. I saw that he did have some damage on the front of that bumper there. So if he is able to keep that thing under... Boy, look at that. Kind of passing on that pit exit there. Fetter Place kind of giving that one up to him as 42. We've seen him before. Got to be careful in these new tires. Let's see how he re-enters here. All right, looks like everything's all calm and good for Bledsoe. He still retains almost a tail. Kelly Thomas right there past 42 of Bledsoe. He was almost in the top 10 here. So really, Isaac Emerson still hanging out there as our new race leader in the 92 machine. Staying out, Julio Villalobos all the way back, I believe, in the 8th position so far. So Isaac Emerson, last pit on lap 122.
Right now I'm looking at the battle between Matthew Batby as well as Jeremy Richmond. Currently for the 4th, 5th, and 6th position, Batby decided to come in later, and that did mean that Jeremy Richmond was able to jump him on the pit cycle, but Batby, with the new tires, was able to easily pass Richmond going into 1 and 2 on lap 169.
Yeah, the Jeremy Richmond only has tires, and Nick Alford there only has tires about 6 laps older than Matthew Batby right there, but as we said before, we had 15 laps and they drop off by a second. Look at that 89 car just absolutely pull away. Lot of speed right there as we get to this blimp view, and you kind of see him putting a clinic on right here, really pulling away. Boy, as he's been doing all race, and really, I don't know. I think Richmond and Alford are the only ones who had a chance of really keeping him held up at all, because Cunningham and Emerson, I'm assuming that 9 machine still has to come in and pit. Emerson still hasn't pit, but man, I think as I say that, Emerson is down pit road. So Cunningham down 5 laps out here leading. Check that out. Michael Cunningham, last pit on lap 129. So he may be able to stay out there a little bit longer, but fuel-wise, I just don't know if he's going to be able to make it here, kind of.
Yeah, he's still going to need to make a pit stop 100%, maybe. Trying to hold out for some sort of caution, but just looking back to the 6th position, 24 of Riley Hoot, he's gaining really quickly up to the back of the 95 and the 98, who are going side by side through the tri-oval, and Nick Alford is going to look to be able to make the position on Jeremy Richmond.
That's all right. Don't count out Riley Hoots. He will kind of hang out here in the back for a little bit. Use a little bit of that draft from these 2 cars of Alford and Richmond, but really he can't hang out here too long, as he's already 3.5 seconds away from the lead. Really Matthew Batby is about to pass for the lead, and it may be just kind of a walk around here for that 89 getting around the 9. So 9 doing a good job going ahead and ducking out of the way and staying out of trouble. So good job there by Michael Cunningham. But here come the next set of cars. Nick Alford here. Here he comes with Jeremy Richmond close behind him. But, man, Riley Hoots, we've talked about him a lot here tonight. Working on the outside of Richmond. These two, oh, man, almost make contact. And here they come down the front stretch. And this is going to jam Riley Hoots. Boy, going to have to make a quick move there, and does so. And so, Riley Hoots into the 3rd position and just slowly ticking him off as we go around.
Riley Hoots nearly got caught up by the 9 of the lap car of Cunningham, but luckily caught them at a lucky time, so didn't get held up too much and nearly contacted in 3 and 4, but Jeremy Richmond having enough composure to be able to keep the car down low enough, and they were able to not make any contact. But Riley Hoots, after coming in with those new tyres, is quickly on the back of the 95 of Nick Alford. We saw these two battling very hard in early stages last week before both had issues. Nick Alford drifting up the track quite aggressively. Riley Hoots is going to be able to keep that momentum and going to be halfway alongside going into turn 1. Being able to just drive it in deeper. Nick Alford's going to try to be able to carry some sort of extra grip, but a little bit of a wobble over the bumps, and that sent him up the track, and Riley Hoots should be all clear now to go start trying to chip away at the gap of his teammate in the lead.
Oh, yeah. And 15 cars still out here fighting on this concrete surface here at Nashville 195. The High Octane Sim Series does a fantastic job on putting on races. Next week, we are looking at Martinsville. The paperclip, the dreaded paperclip that no one can stand, but we'll have to see these guys when we get them up into the booth. Pending a caution, as long as nothing happens here, this may be what you're seeing is just the amount of distances some of these guys have is just going to be tough to see. I would probably say Nick Alford placing 3rd for his 3rd race in a row. He's not going to be real happy about that, but he did come on and put a great show on out here tonight.
Yeah, it's unfortunate if you can't get a win, but even just bringing it home in 3rd, it's a good point, and if you can do that over and over again throughout the entire season, the points are just going to add up. So, yeah, we all want to win, but sometimes you just need to take the points where you can get them.
Yeah, and they got to be careful. Nick Alford may be able to collect points, but right now Matthew Batby collecting wins, and this may be another one in the books for him. Riley Hoots will have to double check on that. I'm not sure how many wins Batby has. I keep getting confused between this season and last season, where Batby absolutely owned in that season, and Riley Hoots already has a win on the year so far. But man, really those 2 cars up there in the front, 89, 24, and the 95, doing a really out here out front every week. but I just don't know if Riley Hoots has enough here. I mean, he's 5 seconds off the lead, and I think the only way, I'm not sure. I think the only way is if Riley Hoots, save those tires, and he's going to be able to get around here. 5 seconds is a lot to make up with only 16 laps to go.
Yeah, unless Batby really burns up his tires, I'd say that Hoots doesn't really have much of a chance of really being able to close the gap enough and be able to put up a fight, especially with 15, 16 laps left to go in this race. There's really not enough time to close up 5 seconds, so unless there's a caution, which is not impossible, but with how the track is and how people are starting to single file out, it's starting to become a lot more unlikely that Hoots will be able to battle for this win.
Yeah, I think the only thing that may hold up Matthew Batby is some lap traffic. I got our little track map up there. If you kind of see, you do see the one kind of running into the 11 up top there. We are on Riley Hoots, so he's that big number 2 up in the middle of the backstretch, and you just kind of see how far he has to go. We're going to rotate to Batby, and we got that big number 1 bubble out there, and you kind of see how he's working around those, working around the lap traffic there. He gets around Redenius there in the 11th position. So the top 10 cars are on the lead lap, and Matthew Batby doing just really owning this track, and he seems so confident getting around here, and just really putting the moves on and getting this one done here tonight, and it really shows.
Yeah, Batby has had a lot of speed in previous races, but never been able to really convert it into a win. So if he can do it tonight, it'll be very, very well deserved. But unless there's a caution, Hoots is going to be trying everything he can and not really have enough time. So right now, Batby is not going to be wanting a caution, but as things stand, he just needs to take it easy, take a few deep breaths, and just keep himself calm. It's very easy to start having your heart rate start accelerating, which is then starting to cloud your mind. So you just need to calm yourself down and be like, okay, I got this. And don't think about a caution, just think about what you've been doing the entire race and what's been working.
Yeah, and what is working right now, Jeremy Richmond starting to put a little work on Nick Alford there. I think Jeremy Richmond wants to come up into the booth and kind of have a little chat with us here at the end of the race, but he's got 12 laps to get it done. We do see Jeremy Richmond. He kind of seems to get, a little burst of speed there, and then Nick Alford just seems to have the long-range, more consistent run. We'll have to see if Jeremy Richmond can overtake when Matthew Batby hits some of that traffic up there. Riley Hoots was able to pick up over half a second on him, but once again, Batby starting to really put the distance on again. But here's the battle right now here for the 3rd position. Jeremy Richmond going ahead and sliding in front of Nick Alford. Will Alford go ahead and dial behind him and let Jeremy Richmond go ahead and take this away and break his 3rd place streak, or is he going to try to dice it up and fight for hit again? But it looks like right now Nick Alford may have scorched those tires a little bit, and he's going to have to kind of bow out and let Jeremy Richmond go ahead and pull away with this one.
Richmond did drop back a little bit earlier on, and in doing that, it seems like he was able to then save some of his tire left. So saving it when it matters, and then being able to use that later on to then put up a real fight towards the end, which has allowed him to easily be able to clear his teammate, I believe it is. So real good drive by Richmond if he can hold on to it and take home the 3rd position tonight.
That we will have to see. Bledsoe still running fast right now. Gives Villalobos a good shot there to the outside, letting Villalobos know, he's bumping and banging around. You've been doing to some of these cars. I will not be one of them. I'm going to give it right back to you. So there's Alan Bledsoe trying to, look at that. Good slide move there. Going ahead and giving 78 a shot again. I think he's getting a little tired of that 78 really blocking his path. So that 42, got to be real careful with how he takes these turns and attack going through as they come up on that front stretch. Rides up into that 78. So here we go. These two are going to battle it out, and they have had enough of each other. These two going at it as they dive into turn 1.
You've got to be careful when battling this hard. It's very easy to throw out a caution by accident, but right now these drivers have raced with each other for long enough so they know how each other race. Bledsoe really having to put up a tough fight. But Villalobos is starting to drop back now, but luckily able to keep it all together.
All right, and it looks like Bledsoe goes ahead and conquers 6th position, but he now has Jacob Fifield to chase down, which is another, boy, wow, what happened there? Okay, no, running up on a little bit of lap traffic of the 32 machine. Sorry, looked like Fifield was trying to dice it up there with that 32 and just snuck around him. So here we go into a little bit of lap traffic, and these guys really giving it a shot, as we see kind of out there on the outskirts. Nick Alfred's going to be in the 4th position. 6 laps to go left in this race. Man, really, what a battle this is here for some of these positions. It is dwindling down, and time is running out. So for some of these guys who want to make that move, now is the time. We saw Bledsoe last week give it all she had and was actually drifting the final turn, trying to make the pass, but just could not run down Brendan Mathis there. And really, Mathia, I believe it's Mathia. Jesus.
You would be correct on that.
Okay, yeah. I thought I was like, oh, crap. I messed it up. I know he's a bit of a part-time driver, but he came in here and actually took the win away for that one and get away with that. But we're going to actually stay on Bledsoe here, as this clump of cars right here is really the one to do it. Oh, no. And Richmond gives it up. Oh, man. And 42 of Alan Bledsoe being given another chance to break into the top 5 here. 98 getting really getting out of sorts here. Oh, is he going to go for the 2-for-1? Can the tires hold of that 42 machine? Makes contact with the 98. And whatnot, Matthew Batby does not want to see as a caution come out, as Jeremy Richmond goes ahead and holds it straight. It looks like that 98 may be broken.
Yeah, that was a very hard hit into that outside wall for the tri-oval. Looks to be very off pace. Be interesting to see what the left or right side of the car does look like, but just with how slow he is for... Oh, yep, that's race over for Jeremy Richmond. Real unfortunate, but when you start getting into these stages, now's the time you have to really start being aggressive.
Yeah, and aggressive Alan Bledsoe is. Right now, he is up in the 4th position. He's right now our fastest mover of the race right now. Really having a fight here with Fifield in the 5th position. Oh boy, little contact right there, as these guys are going to go ahead and give it a shot, trying to run down Nick Alfred for a podium position. Matthew Batby out there 5 seconds in front of Riley Hoots in the 2nd, Nick Alfred 3rd, and Fifield and Bledsoe battling it out here for that 5th position. But it looks like Bledsoe gets a little too much of that wall there and is going to have to kind of reset and get going with only 2 to go.
Yeah, with catching the wall like that is going to dampen your spirits, but sometimes with Bledsoe, he's got the pace, but it's very easy to also throw it away, so he might just be happy riding for 4th. We all want to get into the podium and especially win, but when you're running in 4th position, I've made the mistake of driving too hard and then throwing it away and throwing away valuable points, so Bledsoe might just be better off just taking it down a notch and be like, okay, I'm in 4th position, it's good points, I'm happy to just ride here.
All right, and he definitely has to be careful. He may not be able to catch Fifield here, but he's got to watch out for Villalobos and Fetterplace there. I don't think there's enough. Looks like Fetterplace and Villalobos going to battle at it with the white flag out. These guys getting ready to shoot around the turn. Fetterplace having just barely enough time here. Let's see if he can get that outside line and pull it on through. 78 trying to door him. 28 gets turned. Oh, no. Oh, no, as they are sliding through the infield. Looks like Villalobos goes ahead and clears it. Fetterplace lands 7th. Hard racing there. Hard racing. Wow. Wow. All right. Matthew Batby goes ahead and takes the win tonight. Riley Hoots 2nd. Nick Alford for his 3rd time in a row. 3rd place. Fifield 4th. Alan Bledsoe 5th. Looks like Villalobos might have gone ahead and stuck it and landed 6th. Fetterplace 7th. Isaac Emerson in 8th. Don Francisco 9th. And Redinius there in the 99 machine placing 10th. So quite the tumble up from some of these drivers. I want to go back and take a look at that battle right before we got to the line there. Fetterplace and Villalobos there, and kind of see if we can get a good a good angle of them kind of dooring each other here as we get going around. Let's see what this looked like from these drivers. Here we go. Just a quick little replay here. These two guys. Boy, Fetter Place tries to ride up the track, clips that wall. And 78 just makes sure he drives on through him to go ahead and get past that line. Boy, that was rough. That was rough. All right. And I actually want to roll it back here as we get some of our drivers into our booth here, waiting to have a little chat with them. Let's see if we can get some of these guys up and ready. Boy, that was a heck of a shootout there, right there toward the end. I do want to roll back here to the Bledsoe, Jeremy Richmond 3 wide area, and let's take another look at this, at what happened. Bledsoe kind of comes up, clips the 98. Yeah, and then Jeremy Richmond, just with those tires, is unable to hold it. Yeah, and that shot to the wall kind of undid his race for him. 98 may have been a little bit out of sorts. Jeremy, I see you out there in the chat, man. I know that has got to be kind of frustrating for you, but we will have to see how this pans out for you too. I hope you guys can work it out. Let's take another look here. Really, what happened is I'm wondering if that 42 machine hits the grass, and I think when he hits the grass, it sends him back up the track and slides him. Yeah, you see him turn to the left trying to save it, and then gets up into the 98. So, yeah, it looks like Bledsoe may have clipped that grass and sent it up the track, which just ruined Jeremy Richmond's night and slamming into that wall there. So that is definitely going to be a bummer for him. But let's go ahead and reel in our drivers for tonight, and what they have to say about the race that they put on a show for us. And Kynan, you are caught up with Nick Alford here. Go ahead and take it away.
Nick Alford,
Yes, sir.
Jones in the booth. Guess you have a copy.
Gotcha.
So, quite an eventful night. How was the tires really being able to grip to this very hot and concrete racetrack tonight?
Man, tires went away fast. It was real crucial to get a fine balance of trying to conserve and trying to keep track position. So, because once that leader kind of got out in good clean air, like it was impossible to catch him.
We saw you get into, can't quite remember who it was, I believe it was Bledsoe earlier on after you had just made a pit stop spot. Then you end up getting an EOL on that caution for causing it. How does track position and being that far in the pack really affect the car?
So dirty air, once it gets on your nose, it kind of washes you up in the middle of the corner. So I wasn't trying to stay right behind somebody in the corners. It definitely doesn't make the car happy being right behind somebody like that. But the incident between me and Bledsoe, if he's listening, I want to let him know, like, that was not in any ill intent behind that. Like, he checked up a little bit hard, and I kind of got into. I wasn't expecting him to check up right in the middle of the corner. So it is what it is. It happened. I took the L, and I took the EOL for it.
With getting another third place position tonight, was there really anything that you think you really could have done to take it to Hoots or Batby tonight?
No, they pitted after me, so they had fresher tires than I did. In a couple of battles there, really got my tires hot. So I wasn't gaining on them at all. I really needed a late race caution to be able to even have a say. I'm actually surprised I finished P3 tonight.
Well, with that being said, your third P3 in a row, what's really your expectations and hopes going into Martinsville, the famous old paperclip of America, next week?
Martinsville's going to be tough again. We're probably going to have a lot of cautions, and that's expected. But it definitely, I don't know. I've had good luck and bad luck there. So we'll see.
Okay, well, I guess we will see. Before you do go, though, however, do you have anyone that you would like to thank for getting you out in racing tonight?
Absolutely. Thank you guys for sponsoring the league. Thanks Max Graphics for helping out with logos and the banners. Thanks to the team JKR, and then JW Racing also. They're kind of our affiliate team. Big thanks to Dubby, adminbox.com, and Bunker Branding.
Alrighty, and there is Nick Alford, your third place finisher, and we hope to see how well you can do at Martinsville next week, bud. So go ahead and get that 95 back into the garage, get that thing squared away for some short track racing next week, bud.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Alrighty, and there's Nick Alford, and really, the biggest mover of the race, one I am excited to talk to, is actually Riley Hoots. I'm excited to have a little chat with that 24 machine. Riley Hoots, you got a copy on me, bud?
I sure do.
All right, man. You really spinning out and getting in the infield, saving the car, starting from behind, getting back up front, leading a couple laps here tonight. I mean, you were all over the place. Was that? I'm assuming that was not the plan.
No, it definitely wasn't, but I can't say enough about how proud I am of the speed that the car had tonight. I did not expect to run second. I struggled a lot in practice, even leading up to the race. But man, this thing was on rails. I was able to put it wherever I needed to get around people and able to take good care of my tires. I really wish I could get that corner back where I spun it off to. I feel like that would have been resulted in maybe a closer result. I think Matthew still had the best car and deserved the win tonight, but I would have liked to have another real shot at him.
Yeah, that 24 car did have a lot of speed here tonight, just unfortunately wasn't able to pull it out. But still, regardless, I mean, a second place finish, chasing down Matthew Batby, though, that is seemed to be a feat a lot of these drivers, including yourself, just trying to figure out how to get that 89 machine checked up. It just seems Pitt's strategy or him just getting in a bad position is the only way to really get that car run down here. But, tonight, I saw you gave a couple of drivers kind of a little shot to the rear bumper there. Isaac Emerson, I know he got a little bit in your way. I think Villalobos, you gave him a little nudge, trying to, was your car just super fast tonight? These guys just not getting out of your way, or just, Rubbins racing?
Yeah, that was a little bit of a Rubbins racing type deal, and that was when I was driving back through the field after the spin, and I knew how fast my car was at that point, and I knew the longer that I stayed behind in traffic, and the longer I kept the nose in the dirty air, the smaller my shot was going to be to have a shot at Matthew. So I was just thinking about getting through there as fast as possible. I never have any intentions of wrecking anybody, but I think a bump to move somebody up out of the groove is fair game. But yeah, that was my philosophy there.
Yeah, nice. A little bumping here and there is good, but sending them up into the stands is not, and really not what you want to do. But
Agreed.
Yeah, that 24 car, man, that car was just so fast. We had you on the camera a whole lot of tonight, seeing how you were getting around the track. I mean, I'm blown away at how that car handled. And really, I think I saw at one point you only took right side tires, and I think that was trying to close the gap on the lead. Did that work out for you?
So actually, that was an unplanned strategy call during, believe it was stage 2. Yeah, it was stage 2 that we pit under green, and I actually overshot my pit stall, and I audibled and changed to just right side tires to make up for that time that I lost overshooting my pit box. So it wasn't really planned, but I was confident that it would provide enough grip for me to at least hang on. And hope that it would be close enough to contend for the stage win, but ultimately that's what caused the imbalance of my car, and I believe is why I spun out on the following restart.
Man, yeah, and that was kind of a bummer there, but hey, regardless, still great charging again here tonight. I know Shane was actually out there in the chat most of the night here tonight. Shane Hoots having a definitely having the eyeball on you, and said somebody else also had an eyeball on you here tonight, and I believe you did him proud, placing that second place here tonight, and going ahead and wrapping that up, man. We'll get to that, but Martinsville. Last question, Martinsville, and then I'll let you get your sponsors. How are you feeling about that short track coming up here, next week?
Martinsville is probably the one track that I have the least amount of seat time in the next gen car at, so I'm going to need to run lots of practice. Otherwise, I'm going to be in for a long night next week. But we'll see. I wasn't very confident going into tonight, and I was able to figure it out. So we'll see. Stranger things have happened.
All right, now a lot of guys very confident about the LA Coliseum either, and that was a bumper car race. So get your practice time in, but we'll go ahead and let you get started on that. But go ahead and give me those shout outs here tonight, bud.
Well, first and foremost, I just want to thank all my family for continuing to come out and support me and watch me every week. Everybody from my parents to my siblings, my aunt Lauren, my grandfather, his wife Gwen, and of course my uncle Shane coming in and watching every week. And I had a special addition to my car tonight on my name rail. I was running my grandfather's name. Today's actually the 1 year anniversary since he passed away. So James was kind enough to update my paint scheme and add that to my name rail tonight. So I was really hoping I'd get a chance to have an interview and be able to mention him and give him a shout out. So really thankful for a good run tonight.
Yeah, not a problem, bud. Regardless, I'd have brought you up in here and let you go ahead and have a talk with us up here at 10-4 Broadcasting. But all right, bud. Like I said, I'm sorry for your loss. I've been there recently myself, and we hope to see you next week, bud.
All right, thank you so much, guys. I appreciate you for coming out here and doing this every week. Keep up the good work. We love you guys.
Yep, I love you too, bud.
Have a good one, guys.
Take it easy. All right, Kynan, man, really, definitely a tumble up with some of these drivers as we get a hold of Matthew Batby. We got to have a little chat with our race winner here tonight. He was a hard charger here tonight. That 89 machine had a boatload of speed, and Kynan, I believe you caught up with him and take it away. I think that's his first win this season.
You are correct, Batby. Do you have a copy?
Yes, sir. Yes,
How does
I
it
do.
feel to finally break into victory lane? You've shown so much pace previously in races, but never have been able to break through. So, how does it feel to finally break through and win a race here this season?
Amazing. I mean, I think the races that I have run this season, I've gotten the pole every single one and have had winning pace every single race. So it's just, you get unlucky, but eventually it'll turn around and you go out here and go lead 160 laps and dominate the whole thing. So I'm just glad to be up here talking to you guys. I haven't been up here in quite a while, so good to be back here and get a win.
I believe the last time you were up here was Rockingham when you position or finished P3. But with your pace, does it just come naturally, or is it something you actually spend hours practicing in the week?
Well, yeah, I practice maybe an hour, just testing where to brake and where to pick up the gas and stuff, but usually it just comes to me and I, figure it out as the race goes on the long run, and I really only practice qualifying pace. I usually pick it up and the race and figure things out, so usually comes to me, and hopefully I can have more races like this.
I mean, your pace was very dominant. You mentioned how many laps you were able to lead, but with that, was there really anything that you feel that maybe you made a little mistake on and that you could have improved that dominance even further?
Honestly, I really don't think there was anything. This race was pretty good. Pretty perfect in my book. I mean, I'm sure there's couple little things, but I can't think of on top of my head. So this race was pretty good.
I mean, hey, if ever you finish a race and you don't really think that there was anything that you could have really done better, is Nashville Super Speedway really a track that you're typically good at, or is this really the first time you've been properly dominant?
I've had a couple of starts here. Top split a couple months ago, and I think I finished in the top 5. I wasn't crazy great, but definitely I think I practiced for this race and put in the time. I really wanted to win this one, so just put in the time with the setup and little things you can change. So yeah, I usually I'm pretty decent here.
I mean, hey, you can say that you're pretty decent here, but it was very dominant. Who do you have to thank to getting you out here and winning and dominating tonight?
Definitely my mom and my dad and my brother and my grandparents. I know they're probably watching, and my aunts and uncles and all my cousins, and Riley for helping us and the whole team. James for painting the car, and everybody working around and helping each other and bouncing off of each other. Oh, and you guys for broadcasting.
Hey, yeah, awesome, man, and great job here tonight, winning that race here, Matthew. And you know, we hope to see what you can do there at Martinsville. This should be a good points boost for you going forward, especially with the Kenny Power Motorsports team that you guys are running out there, man. So yeah, like I said, go ahead, you and Riley team up and figure out how to conquer Martinsville, because you guys have a lot of laps in that race. I mean, that one's gonna wear you guys down. Martinsville may be a small track, but 325 laps does take a while.
Oh yeah, I'm turning left for a couple hours. It hurts.
Oh yeah. Well, they always say, well, 325 laps, that's still 650 times you need to turn left. So,
Yeah.
you know, make sure you stretch your arms out, you get some of the Dubby energy drink you guys sponsor out there, and get ready for that race. Matthew Batby, your race winner tonight here at Nashville 195. Great job tonight, bud, and we hope to see you next week.
Yeah, thank you guys for having me, and hopefully I can see you guys back in Victory Lane.
Oh, yeah. All right, there we go, Matthew Batby. And away he goes off to practice. And really quick shout out, Riley Hoots, you owe me one. Riley Hoots is shouting out to his amazing girlfriend, Vicky, who supported him by watching the whole race. So you owe me one, Vicky, and we appreciate you watching out there. Don't forget, guys, to go ahead, like and subscribe to this channel. I do watch you guys out there chatting, and the things you do say, I will respond to them every night, all the time here at 10-4 Broadcasting. Join us, have a chat with us. Tell me what you think's going on in the race. I mean, we see Jeremy Richmond out there in the chat, and he's telling us what he thinks. But boy, he is. I'm sure I wouldn't be too happy right there at the end of the race. But Matthew Batby comes away with the win. Riley Hoots second, Nick Alford third. Jacob Fifield goes ahead and scores a fourth position here tonight. Alan Bledsoe battled for that fifth. Julio Villalobos there in sixth. Brandon Fetter plays seventh. Isaac Emerson eighth. Nick Don Francisco, nice to see at 25. And it looks like Redinius goes ahead and battles up front and gets in the 10th position. So good job by him. Man, really, this is going to be an exciting week coming up, seeing that Martinsville is next on the list. Really, what should we expect out of that race other than, I would assume cautions?
Well, we're going from a fairly open concrete circuit to a very flat, very small, and very tight little paperclip track. So you're going to expect cautions, as you said, but we're also going to have to expect side-by-side racing. You're not going to be able to really pull away, and the second you do pull away, you're suddenly caught up with a lap car. So there's not going to be really a point where you can really look away, and you're going to have to always be on your toes. Even for us up in the booth, we got to be looking all around, so better get your W energy drink, because we're going to need it.
All right, and don't forget your Captain Jack's Smokehouse as well. And don't forget to check out Admin Box at adminbox.com. Check those guys out, and really, we appreciate everyone showing up here tonight at 10-4 Broadcasting. This is Patrick Morrison joining you here again, and we will see you guys next week. Kynan Jones, get some rest, bud, because we are going to be locked and loaded this upcoming week with all the races you guys have. So if you've subscribed to 10-4 Broadcasting, you'll see when we go live, and tune in for the next one. But other than that, stay safe. Be well, guys. Take it easy.